ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
That's right.
Presented by First Security Bank. By Kirk Realtors, the Griffin Company. Pasco Air, Plumbing and Electric. Flight by Yingling and Fayetteville Auto Park. And now, Chuck and Bo.
Man, you really got him going yesterday. I'm just going to tell you, you did. You lit a fire.
Yeah, apparently I lit a fire so big that what we got was somebody talking about the difference between unlawful and illegal.
Can't do either one. Can't do either one.
Where's Nancy Grace when you need her?
That's parsing words. That's what you call parsing words. Lawyers do it. Marketing people do it.
So
broadcasters do it.
I had dinner with Nancy Grace while you were doing the Sam Pittman live show last night.
How was it?
Well, I learned that the difference between unlawful and illegal and against the rules is pretty much there isn't one.
It's all the same thing. Like if it was legal, they'd be doing it already. Is that what you're saying?
What is happening? By the way, Chuck, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm questionable today.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Fatigue becoming a factor?
I saw it is.
Yeah.
We're going to get a vitality check later at Sweatin'em Cosmetic.
Ooh, I'm not sure what to think about that.
You're going with me.
I'm not sure what to think about that. Have they ever had someone my age in there? What do they do with guys like me? What do they do with old guys at a place like this? Am I going to find the fountain of youth?
I had no idea.
That's what I want to know.
Well, yes, you are. And
Am I going to be one of those guys? I'm 61 and I feel like I'm 38.
If I'd have known Bart was approaching 50, I would have invited him to get
That was
lunch
a shocker,
as well.
too.
Like,
I mean,
he was
it really was.
earlier today. His ID's just laying out there.
I made some comment about Bart's youthful look, and he probably was, barely 30. And he said, "Do you know how I am or how old I am?" I said, "Well, no." So I'm 47.
Whoa. We spent the whole show. We spent the whole show yesterday talking about how truth and facts matter.
Well, evidently it doesn't matter all that much.
No, it really doesn't. I was so wrong about that, by the way.
37,
clearly.
by the way.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. You stepped right into that. Admitted your age.
That's fine.
And,
I don't care.
And luckily for you, all those single females are listening right now. All Taylor Swift's friends, they get up at 6. They listen to the show.
You're in your prime
every
at
day.
37, man.
I feel like I'm in my prime.
Yeah. Well, it's obvious you are.
You know, here's what. If
Thank you, Chuck.
Yeah.
Good morning, folks. Here's what's great about today, I think, is Bart is he's on fire. Like he came in the building talking loudly. Normally he gets in the building and you don't hear from him for like 20 minutes at all. Like hey Bart.
Yeah, that's exactly how. Bart, good morning.
Chuck walks in and Chuck walks into my office and he starts talking and I go, "Man, I'm gonna lean on you today. I'm tired." And he goes, "Well, I'm tired." I go, "Well, Bart's not."
Bart's on fire. Bart, it's your show today.
Chuck's tired because
Nobody needs that.
Normally Chuck just would sort of show up and do the Sam Pittman live show last night, but Netflix was there.
Well, it was big deal.
So it took a lot of extra.
Let me tell you people.
Chuck was on Netflix last night.
The Netflix folks were there. And of course, my initial question was, what are these guys doing
Chuck's
here?
like, "What is Netflix?" It's a streaming service.
No, I am a Netflix subscriber.
I'm out.
My first question was, well, I guess profanity's okay
Right.
tonight. We're on Netflix. We can say whatever the hell we want, right? And well, maybe not quite.
Swearing on the Sam Pittman live show.
It was the cameras were everywhere. There were multiple cameras, and it was funny because, they get right up on you. It's tight quarters at the legendary Catfish Hole.
The legendary
tight quarters,
Catfish Hole.
and so we're talking, and the camera guys literally, 3 feet in front of you. And of course, they're zeroed in on Pittman. I'm leaning in, trying to get in the shot. It's like, hey.
And then suddenly the guy gets even tighter with the camera.
Yeah. Every time I leaned in, you can see him cranking that camera where it's a little bit tighter.
Before you knew it, Chuck is on Sam's shoulder.
Yes, exactly. I thought that's what I was going to have to do just to get in the shot. And so it was
looked awfully close to Sam last night.
But they had
right next to him.
They had really nice equipment. It was a first-rate production. Not that normally it's the I think it's the Sport and Story crew that is there filming.
Yeah, Hogs Plus.
Hogs Plus is there, and so they were there. And then you combine the Netflix people. It was just a media circus.
Wow.
It was a media circus.
I mean,
and it was a packed house.
It's so like cliche. Like every time anybody, and I would be doing the same thing, and I've done it before. If you're producing a show on Arkansas, anything Arkansas football related, like, hey, when do they have that thing at the Catfish Hole? It's not, like the Catfish Hole is probably on more shows than the head coach is. Like, I mean, they're like this part of the program.
I know they are.
And by the way, they don't go away. They don't get fired. They don't. No. They're here every year.
That's exactly right.
Mike Gundy's been at Oklahoma State for 20 years. The Catfish Hole has been here.
You know who started all that? Petrino. It's when Petrino was head coach. He wanted to do a show. And I don't know that he necessarily wanted to, but thought the program needed it.
Is that right?
Started with Petrino.
I did not. Okay, tell me the story. I did not know.
Well,
for my mind, like it's always been there. Like,
no, it was
like as far as shows go.
It was Petrino. I don't remember if it was his first year or his second year, but that's when it started, and it's been there ever since. And it's had different incarnations and things like that.
That's a great piece of trivia.
Yeah.
Which coach started doing shows at the Catfish Hole?
Bobby
Whose
Petrino.
idea with it?
It was Petrino.
Like, there's no way that Houston Nutt would not win that poll question.
Yeah. It wasn't him. It was Bobby Petrino.
The ever affable Petrino as a head coach wanted to be at the Catfish Hole.
You know, he came in and he really did have some good ideas about it. It was things obviously that they'd done before. That was a good idea. And it's stood the test of time. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's a big news breaking show. I mean, it's a coach's show. And the crowd's familiar, just like it is at every coach's show in college sports. But it has stood the test of time. And, when we did his television show, that telestrator thing, there in the history of coaches shows, period, not just here, but anywhere. So there's never been a better segment than what they did with that telestrator, but what he did with the telestrator back then.
Only thing that would rival that was Houston Nutt's locker room speeches.
Yeah, those were good.
Which were not a common thing, particularly in college athletics at that point, that you would get to see that. And it really ignited the state.
Here's the thing about that. It was a huge hit. I mean, you could have run 30 minutes of Houston Nutt's pregame locker room speech, his first couple of years here. And then, as is always the case, by the time it was over, they were using all those words against him. That's just how it works. And the one thing about Petrino at the telestrator was, I mean, it was good throughout. And he was very good at that. That was his element.
Oh.
Everybody's got to be in their element for it to be good.
That's right.
And that was his element.
That's a great point.
That was the goal. That was the goal throughout. Was we got to get this guy in his element.
Too many of us try to do things that everybody else just did. You got to just do what you do. Do it well. And Nutt was the speeches, and Petrino was diagramming plays or showing,
it's just
breaking down film.
It's just like when you shot these things for Hogs Plus with Coach Petrino and Talon. Petrino in the room.
Yeah.
It's very matter of fact, very instructional. Yeah. That's what he does.
And if you're paying attention,
he's a football teacher. He teaches you football. And that's what he did in that segment. He taught us football.
If you're paying attention, he'll put a joke in there, but you got to be paying attention.
It's generally very dry. It's very dry.
It's good. It's good though. But it's fun.
No, that was that whole deal out there was and I think it was, I don't remember if it was ISP or IMG or whatever it was
ISP
back
was
then.
The beginning.
But it was
Ben Sutton.
It was a financial deal. I mean, there was obviously a good bit of money involved, and always
how far we've come.
Yeah, and but that's why I remember the start very well.
How far we've come in the money situation. How do we feel about NIL today, guys? Are we still,
it's funny.
Feeling better? Did you get some sleep last night? You feel like, today I think I'm going to give $100.
I heard I had conversations with people last night, and the overriding thing that comes through every time is everybody wants somebody else to pay for it. I mean, the average folks want the rich folks to pay for it, and the rich folks are saying we're already paying for everything, and in some cases they are.
Yeah.
And so I think that's universal, though. I don't just think it's here. I think it's everywhere, unless your team is like really good. Like, for example, I don't think the people at Tennessee right now are complaining about that 10% talent fee on their tickets.
Perfect timing.
Now, if they were 5-7, they'd be raising 9 kinds of hell. I mean, first off, they wouldn't have tried it. They wouldn't have tried it.
No,
and that's one of the things you have to think about when it comes to whatever you're trying to do to raise money. Timing's everything.
That's right.
And right now, the timing is right for them, and that's why they're doing it. But everything that I've heard from literally everyone is they got to get their act together. It's somebody else's fault. Right. They need to be paying for it. And why don't they do that raffle? That's what everybody's saying.
And the reason they don't do the raffle is not because it's illegal; it's unlawful.
Well, here's the deal. I don't know if it's illegal, if it's unlawful.
It's against the rules.
I don't know.
It's against the rules.
I don't know how you define it. I know that if it was legal, they'd already be doing it.
If it was doable.
I do know that.
Right. By the way, somebody said yesterday, Bo, why isn't Arkansas, why aren't they doing anything about this? Why aren't they getting the law changed or the rule changed or whatever, the legality changed? Why, like, they should be doing more. And so of course, I did what we do. We check around. Turns out they've been trying to get the thing changed for like the better part of a decade. Like, nobody has more. Here we go. Nobody has more at stake in this than the people you get upset with. You don't have more at stake. They have their jobs on the line. Nobody has more at stake. And the funny thing for me sometimes, it's not really funny. It just becomes funny. That we sit around and we point fingers and we gripe about stuff and we act like they're not doing, they being, the university, they're not doing anything. They're dragging their feet. And it's not like they always get it right. They obviously don't. There's a million things they could be doing probably better with NIL, just like the rest of the country. Everybody's trying to figure it out. And we look at innovative people and we're like, oh, but you got to be doing it like them. But we don't even really know all the details of what they're doing. But what generally the people that are doing well are winning, or they were already winning, or they had a reason to be excited and hopeful. And that's why you have momentum. But the people that you criticize, they have a lot at stake. Like they're trying, and they got to get. Well, we're gonna have Hunter Yurachek on today, and we will not talk about the difference probably between unlawful and illegal. We'll just probably get into like what he's doing, what he's not doing, what he can do better when it comes to what has he learned about this whole NIL thing, and where do they go from here, and like hopefully explain to some people like where we are and how things are happening and why Arkansas is going to be a 10-2 football team this year.
The most important thing, and I really do believe this, most important thing right now is to get to the revenue share. Get this deal approved. The judge has not approved it yet. I'm not saying all this is going to go away. It's not. In fact, some would argue it's even going to ramp it up more. They may be right. I don't know. But it seems to me as though for those who want somebody else to pay for it, which is about 99% of the people out there, quite honestly.
Well, I'd like to pay for it.
Would you really?
Yeah, I just can't afford it. I just can't afford it.
Well,
I would like to.
I think that's what a lot of people think, honestly. I mean, if you break it down, but when we get to the revenue share, again, it's not going to solve every problem, but it is going to solve some.
Did you miss the part where I said Arkansas was going to be 10-2?
I did miss that part. No, I just.
Are you on board with that?
I'm not getting into records, but I'm going to say something you said. But I'm going to cite something you said a minute ago that I think is really important in all this. With maybe one or two exceptions, the people that are killing it in NIL right now were already winning. They were already winning. They had momentum going when it all started. Here's the thing. I'm going to draw an analogy to Dabo Swinney and Clemson in the transfer portal. Dabo said, I'm not playing that game. I'm not getting into the free agency game. We're going to pay our players, but we're not getting into this transfer portal, free agency, trying to outbid somebody for some player. We're not doing it. How's that worked out for them? I mean, you can say, we're not doing this. I'm principally opposed to it. I'm going to die on this hill. And that's exactly what's going to happen. It's happening to them. The idea that you can just turn away from something you find distasteful and still be competitive. You can't say, all right, I don't want to pay for it. I want to be good. I want us to compete. I'm going to fire you. Or at least I'm going to call for your firing if you don't. But don't look at me when it comes time to pay for all this. I don't think, just for the record, I don't think that's a terribly unreasonable attitude on the part of people. And that's why I say we got to get to the revenue share where the bulk of this, now it's going to filter down to, Johnny Lunch Bucket, just like everything else does. But we got to get to that point. And maybe by the time the next calendar or the next academic year hits, next school year, we'll be to that point. But we're obviously not today. But again, if all these things they're talking about were legal, they'd be doing them now.
Well, the injury report came out.
Yeah, let's get to stuff.
Injury report. The SEC released the first student athlete availability report. It's the availability report. I'm questionable. Chuck's probable. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. We'll talk about it next. 6:18. Good morning.
Chuck, I believe this is all your fault.
Yeah.
I believe
Thank you.
All right, there we
Thank
go.
you. And it's because he doesn't have YouTube TV for starters.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
Call the Hogs at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas for the 2024 Southwest Classic. This season marks the 15th and final iteration of the neutral site installment of this historic rivalry between the Hogs and the Texas A&M Aggies. It all goes down inside the house that former Razorback Jerry Jones built on Saturday afternoon, September 28th. Secure your tickets today at AT&TStadium.com.
The Razorbacks have won it. Look at these Razorbacks coming over to get that trophy.
When it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. They don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you on every step of the way. Whether you're planning a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or simply treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
What's your Oaklawn? Is it hitting the slots for fun and high fives? Or having a round at Silk's Bar and Grill before the action? Play your way at Oaklawn's 24/7 non-smoking casino. With 1,500 slot machines, live roulette, craps, and blackjack, a sports book where you can watch and wager on your favorite games and live entertainment at Pop's Lounge, you'll never run out of fun. It's time for more winning and more excitement at Oaklawn. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
We bring in players. They didn't grow up with a whoop victory. They don't bleed hot red. They bleed money.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Remember the classic Massey Ferguson tractors, straightforward, dependable, tough as nails, and easy to run? It's those classic models that inspired the Massey Ferguson 2600H series, as durable and reliable as the classics, with up to 74 horsepower and more comfort so you can work harder. The Massey Ferguson 2600H series. It's everything you want and need in a tractor. See one at Bush Machine and Tractor Company or visit bushtractor.com to learn more.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter and Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based scram
He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Come on, leave me with this. The Beachy Boy, fight for your right.
You gotta fight.
You gotta fight.
There it is.
For your right.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Dang right it is. Dang right.
That is a good point.
So why do you think we have a availability report that's league mandated now? Mandated.
Well said.
All right.
You know, I'm on this Babbel program, and sometimes it just gets confusing.
Yeah, I understand.
What do we have?
Sometimes
I've been on it all, Chuck. Hooked on phonics.
Have you really?
Babbel.
You've done all that?
No, I mean I should. I need to, but by the way, totally off topic. What do you do when your kid? I know you guys are both longtime parents, so you can help me with this.
Yeah,
Bart's 47.
Yeah.
What do you do when your kid misspells things in a text? Like, do you correct them? Or do you just let it go?
Well, how are we? Are we talking shorthand, or are we talking like just straight up misspelling words?
I'm not. You call it shorthand. I call it slang. Somebody else calls it street. I don't know, but it's not that. It's like there would be an easy example, but here's a bad one. Allowed. Am I allowed to do whatever? And it's ALOUD.
Yeah, you got to correct that.
You might need to step in.
You got to correct that.
You might need to step in there.
Got to correct that.
Yeah,
that's important.
That'll cost you a job someday.
That's right.
That's right.
What do you do on that? If that happens, you just like you put a little asterisk and then spell it back correctly to them. I've got like adult friends, like buddies that
I know
that they
drives me nuts.
They cannot spell.
I know
they cannot spell at all.
I know. And it's no, I don't know what to say about that. I see shorthand like Bart's talking about. I wish I had a $5 bill for every time I've had to Google like what 3 letters meant. I do that all the time. I do it all the time. Like,
WYA.
Yeah.
Where you at?
Well, I know that. Or WYD.
What you doing?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you'll hear like
you got to start somewhere.
Well, I'm just saying that I do that a lot. I do that a lot. I find myself doing that a lot.
I want to hear what.
I'm not alone. Don't act like I'm alone.
No, I want to hear what they are. I gave you 2. Give me one.
They just generally it involves things
LFG.
Stuff that I don't know what that is.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Let's freaking go.
Really?
Yeah, LFG.
Freaking, huh?
Not quite.
Yeah.
Not quite. But
we're not on
We're
Netflix.
a family show.
Well,
we're a family
that's
show.
what I mean.
We're not on Netflix.
That's what I mean.
Like you were last
night.
I
know.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. When things like that come up, I have to know what the obscenity is, what the replacement for the obscenity is. I mean, I just don't know. You can get yourself in trouble.
We're gonna quiz Chuck later. I'm gonna get some abbreviations. We're gonna quiz Chuck and see if.
Well, I don't know why you're just putting Chuck in.
No, you're involved
because I don't know. I probably don't know half of them either.
But
you're involved.
If your child's spelling aloud, ALOUD, in the context,
I'm not saying.
Am I allowed to do this? It means you got to step in.
I'm not saying that actually happened. I mean, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But I got I can't acknowledge that today. But I will say, Chuck, that you can phone a friend much like you did when you learned how to share something from social media.
I understand that.
Bang, shared.
Bang
shared.
Bang shared.
But you just phone a friend. You got to have somebody on speed dial.
You're assuming I've not done that.
Right. Well,
but sometimes you don't get an answer and you got to go to Google.
That is your friend.
I mean,
that is your friend. Google is your friend. So we have the first ever availability report. Why do you think we have an availability report now? This is a really easy answer.
Yeah,
gamblers.
Gambling. So like this is
People
the SEC.
Like People like Bart.
This is the SEC endorsing gambling.
Well, they've been doing that for a while. I hate to break this to you, but they've been doing that for a while.
So according to the SEC's policies, school personnel must submit availability reports 3 days before each game, with daily updates leading to a final report 90 minutes prior to the game. Schools that report late or inaccurately will be penalized $25,000 to $100,000. That's like rushing the court stuff. That's a big penalty. So if you say somebody's out and then suddenly they're healed right before the game, I mean, it's going to cost you like 50
Don't
grand.
be laying hands on that guy an hour before kickoff now.
Like what?
You can't be doing that.
No, you can't. What happens if somebody's suddenly available?
Hey,
So how do
all I know is you see faith healers walking in the locker room like an hour before the
you
game.
see Benny Hinn.
I was thinking the same thing.
Look out.
Benny Hinn's on the payroll now.
Look out. Look out. And so here are the definitions. Speaking of definitions, like of what things mean. Availability status definitions per SEC policy. Available. The player is fully available for the next game. I'd call Bart available today.
He's available.
Probable. Likely to play, barring any setbacks. That's you today.
Fair enough.
Questionable. Uncertain to play due to injury or condition. That's me.
Condition.
Doubtful. Unlikely to play due to significant concerns. Actually, I might be doubtful. I might be doubtful. Out. Player will not participate in the upcoming game. Game time decision. Final decision will be made closer to the game. I think we're all a game time decision. Yeah. Like we what if you had
we're all
day to day.
Everybody's day to day.
That's the old Sports Center. Keith Olbermann,
we're
Dan
all day
Patrick.
to day.
But what if we had this at like just real work? Just regular jobs.
Well,
if everybody just filled out their own personal report.
Hey, honesty's a good thing.
The day before.
Hey, if you're sick, I don't want you here.
Hey, tomorrow.
Don't be getting me sick.
That's right. That's right.
Bart like sends an email out. I'm a game time decision.
Yeah,
I may or may not be there.
Yeah, that's right.
By the way, I've been trying to get to this for like a day and a half now. You and Dabo, you mentioned Dabo earlier. You guys have a lot in common.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I am a big YouTube TV guy now. All right. I discovered I finally figured out how to get that freaking app on my phone. It's like a act of Congress. I mean, you got to have like birth certificates and all kind of stuff to get some of these things. I mean, like, I don't know all these codes from, who's your provider. I mean, it's some crazy stuff on there. But anyway.
That's so basic.
Let me just explain something
we
to you. I've worked with a lot of head coaches over the years. There's not a single one of them doing their own thing. Maybe Muss. But that was about it. They weren't they're not doing their own thing. They're not sitting there banging this stuff out. They got somebody doing it for them.
Yeah. He made it sound a lot harder than
exactly.
It is. 877-377-6963. We'll take some texts. We're going to talk to Chris Doering of the SEC Network when we come back.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there ain't but one razorback. Not but one.
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brands, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what on time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever
Whatever,
seen
man.
anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Touchdown, Arkansas!
We fought back. We took a punch, and we answered back.
He's going to go! Johnson's at midfield, and there he goes! 98 yards. Keith, I saw it, but I'm not sure I believe it.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
It's a stunning way to go somewhere new in the 2024 Buick Encore GX from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on the Buick Encore GX. The Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% on the 2024 Buick Encore GX. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains. It's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of light.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The American Patriot Promotions Gun Show is coming to Cabot Saturday, October 12th through Sunday, October 13th. On Saturday, doors are open from 9 a.m. to 5 and Sunday from 9 to 3. Tickets are just $10 per person, $8 for veterans, military, and police. Children 16 and under are free. American Patriot Promotions, providing the #1 gun shows in Arkansas. Check us out, AmericanPatriotPromotions.com for other events and details.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive, and financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crickhopper.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Listen anywhere at hitthatline.com or the Hit That Line Now app. And now, Chuck and Bo.
Chris Doering is joining us, former Florida Gator, now with the SEC Network. A lot going on in Gainesville these days. We're going to talk that and some college football. Chris, thanks for hopping on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, man. Good to be on with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on. What's the temperature? What's the vibe? What's the atmosphere in Gainesville right now from what you know?
Yeah, it's miserable. And I think a lot like your area, you know, the attitude of the city of Gainesville, obviously the fan base of Florida in general kind of waxes and wanes as the Florida football team goes. I go back to my days of playing under Coach Spurrier. There wasn't a whole lot of days that we lost, but when we did, you know, the following week was pretty down around town. And I just think that there's, you know, for a season that had as much optimism as this one held for Florida, it was a disappointing reality to get pushed around the way they did against Miami in the opener. And I think it was a kind of a foreshadowing of what was to come as you get into SEC play. And nothing kind of embodied that more than that 99-yard drive that Texas A&M had right before halftime, where they just completely lined up and manhandled Florida, ran the ball every single play and capped it off with a rushing touchdown. And I just think that there's not a whole lot of hope, man. You're talking about the middle of September, and for most Florida fans, the season seems over with.
Chris, when you talk about a lack of hope, I mean, that encompasses a lot of things. Is there a way you can put your finger on one thing or a few things? How did this happen? It just seems impossible that something like this could happen at Florida.
Yeah, I went through my every weekend after the games are over with. I kind of put together my power rankings, top to bottom, 1 to 16, and I had Florida at 15. And you know, schools like Vanderbilt ahead of the Gators. Those things they shouldn't be the case. Even on a down year, you know, you're talking about Florida should probably be middle of the SEC, but you're talking about multiple losing seasons in a row. You're talking about you know, the best talent in the state going elsewhere. You're talking about, you know, fans that are becoming apathetic in a way. I think apathy is probably the worst, much more difficult to swallow than anger or sadness or disappointment. So I think you pointed a couple different things. You know, Florida's missed a lot on the two most important things in football. Missed a lot on coaches, dating back to Urban Meyer. Been a rotating seat there in the coaching office, and then you've also had a dearth of really good quarterbacks. You know, Tim Tebow, after he left in 2009. Yeah, I think you look at all the different names that have started at that position, and it's been, you know, a bunch of who's who kind of in the wrong way, with the exception of Kyle Trask. I don't know that a lot of people could name Florida quarterbacks over the last decade and a half. So I think, you know, clearly at the University of Florida, there's a great history of having great coaching, a great history of having premier quarterback play, and Florida hadn't had that. And I think even more compounding that, it's line of scrimmage play. And when I was growing up, Florida had some of the best offensive and defensive lines in the country. And, you know, it's kind of been that way for a long time. But you look now, they just have not been able to compete on the offensive line and the defensive line particularly. And I think that's kind of been one of the major, you know, Achilles heels for this program for probably the last 5 or 6 years.
When a program struggles, it's only natural that fans are going to blame the coach first. Generally, there are problems that go beyond that, though. Is this situation there? Is it as simple as hiring the wrong guy, or are there other things at play in this?
Yeah, I wish I knew. I wish I knew the answer to that, because you know I would certainly be more vocal about what's going on. You know, there are, you can look at the overall records of coaches that were hired by the previous administration, with Jeremy Foley having, you know, done a great job forever at identifying who the next best up-and-coming coach is. And I think that's kind of been the model that's continued on. Unfortunately, you know, a lot of those up-and-comers that have been hired recently haven't really come to fruition and realized the potential that a lot of people thought they had. So that's why I think inevitably I'm I'm not a guy that calls for coaches' jobs, but at the same time, I think the writing's on the wall, what the future holds. And I think that's why Florida doesn't have the ability to go out and hire the next up-and-comer, whenever that may be. It has to be a slam dunk, and it has to be a can't-miss prospect.
Chris Doering, SEC Network, with us on the Chuck and Bo Show. I was really surprised Dan Mullen didn't work out or whatever happened that led to him departing. I would have never guessed that Dan Mullen wouldn't win or wouldn't be at Florida for a long time. I mean, he did win some, but that kind of unraveled, and it started to become a question like, what's going on? How's Florida not good? Like all the time, like coaches are, going there since Urban Meyer. It's just not working out. Does Billy Napier survive 2 more weeks? I mean, is it really about the Mississippi State game, or is it about the bye week?
Yeah, I think a lot of that is the question that Florida fans are asking. A lot of Gators thought that they'd wake up on Sunday morning and there'd be a change made, but you're talking about 3 games into a 12-game season. You're having to figure out who's going to be the guy on the staff that can step up and be the interim leader till you get to the end of the year. I don't know that there's a lot of guys that you point at that you necessarily feel are capable of stepping into that role. Ron Roberts may be the most qualified, but he's only been on the staff for a couple months now. So I think that's one of the factors. And I think another factor is, this is a team that, as poorly as they've played, I don't think that Billy Napier's lost the locker room. I think that the players still, have loyalty towards him. And I think the thing that scares a lot of Florida folks is what happens if you do make that move, particularly this early in the season. How many of the young players decide they're not going to play anymore in an effort to try to keep a redshirt year? How many guys are already talking to other schools? I think maybe the biggest fear for Florida fans is, what happens with DJ Lagway. DJ Lagway was supposed to be the savior for Billy Napier's job, and if you make a move, there's going to be a lot of suitors out there that are going to be trying to back channel to see what they can do to get his services. So I think they're looking for a way to have a smooth transition. I think a lot of people worry about, what happens if Florida starts winning ball games? I mean, 1, that's a great problem to have, but 2, I don't see it happening given, how poor Florida's looked in their first 2, Power 4 games and what the rest of the season holds. Everybody talked about how difficult this schedule is. And honestly, the first half of the schedule is much easier than what the second half holds. So I don't think there's any real fear of things getting better from where it is right now.
Chris, you see Arkansas, at least highlights. You analyze it on Saturdays. We see you talking about it. What are your thoughts on what you've seen from the Razorbacks so far, and maybe going into this Auburn game? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I tell you one thing. It's almost like what was advertised at Mississippi State. Jeff Levy this year, we all talked about what the Bulldogs would look like. We weren't sure how many games they'd win, but it would be exciting. And I think Arkansas fans have been excited, maybe more excited than they wish they were. I kind of related it the other night on our show as like going to the county fair, man. The county fair is fun riding those rides, but the real thrill is not knowing who put the rides together and if you're in safe hands there. And I feel like Taylor Green gives you those excitements, those moments of thrills, but you feel like any given moment that a big interception could come or a poor play that's going to put you in a bad spot is going to transpire. So I do like what his potential is. I wish we could minimize some of the negative plays. But at least they're figuring out offensively what their identity is going to be. Jaquindon Jackson's been fantastic. That 1-2 punch with he and Taylor Green on the ground, what they're able to rack up in terms of rushing yards has been great. And I think you've seen moments of the defense looking a lot better. The first half against Oklahoma State, I thought that they were smothering in a lot of ways. I thought they did a great job of covering receivers in the secondary and knocking down balls. And then all of a sudden they're a totally different team in the second half. So I do think that there's been some great moves made, including bringing Bobby Petrino back, including going out to get Taylor Green. But we need more consistency at this point in time. And that starts this week playing against a team that also is kind of searching for some consistency in the Auburn Tigers.
Yeah, what's your take on Auburn? They've got a new quarterback now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It kind of reminds me a little bit of what happened in Florida. Unfortunately, the timing of Graham Mertz getting hurt was terrible. You insert DJ Lagway, the freshman, against an FCS team, and he lights it up. And everybody gets this impression that he's, the solution and that he should be playing more. Meanwhile, those of us that know football well know that, putting a true freshman in there against, a defensive mind like Mike Elko and much better players like you have in the SEC is going to reveal, just how young and green he is. I feel the same way about Hank Brown. I think Hank Brown, played really well against a New Mexico team that is probably, just a step up from an FCS type opponent, and he looked really good. I don't know that we really know whether or not he's the solution until he plays Arkansas's defense this week. And so, clearly he did the one thing that wasn't done the week before, and that was protecting the football. 4 interceptions against Cal. Hank Brown did not throw any interceptions on Saturday against New Mexico. So at least you're eliminating those mistakes. But I do think, the timing of getting the ball out, reading things faster, I worry that Hank Brown's going to have a much more difficult time with that against Arkansas this weekend.
Chris Doering, SEC Network, always a great job, man. Love having you on. Appreciate the work you do. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I look forward to doing it again.
Thank you, Chris.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate you. Chris Doering, you can check him out on the SEC Network. He's on there Saturdays with Dari, breaking down games and some good insight there. I know some might roll their eyes at all the Florida talk, but I think part of the thing that you hear when you bring somebody on to talk about that is a couple things. It's nice to hear somebody else's misery, right, Chuck?
I was thinking the same thing.
And the other thing
is miserable as we.
You kind of get a third-party perspective on what you're dealing with sometimes. But I loved his line about the county fair.
That was good.
That's so true. Like, you go, let's go enjoy who put this thing together? Or all the bolts screwed
I hope
in?
that guy didn't have anything to do with this.
It's 6:48 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
But I want someone to slide into my DMs. It's just
I'm
a
not sure
personal
I'm
goal.
entirely comfortable with this.
It sounds appealing to me.
Man, I've got some good news. Sweatinum Cosmetic is not just for females. Turns out us guys want to look and feel good too. Why be tired, lethargic, and overweight when we don't have to be? Sure, diet and exercise matter, but there can also be a lot more going on. For example, low testosterone is a real thing among many adult males, not just the old guys. I've heard about the weight loss shots and the low T ads before, and I've been skeptical. But then I stopped by my friend's office, Dr. Jeff Sweatinum. He showed me around that first-class facility and said, here's what we're doing for guys. It's called the Sweatinum Edge. You make an appointment, get a free evaluation covering 4 potential issues: hormones, weight loss, hair loss, and skin. Find out where you are and decide if treatment is right for you. Log on to sweatinumcosmetic.com, sweatinumcosmetic.com, and click on the Sweatinum Edge or call 479-966-4174 and tell them you heard about the Sweatinum Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list, a craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013, with popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA. There's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Zion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Did I hear my broadcast partner talking about somebody slipping in his DM?
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show. Listen anywhere at hitthatline.com or the Hit That Line Now app. And now, Chuck and Bo.
Glad you're back. 877-377-6963. That's the number that'll get you into the show. Hunter's coming up at 8:30. We'll talk some more about this NIL stuff. You hear me talking a lot about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. They've been by my side really throughout my life. And it's nice when you can develop a relationship with a realtor that is a lifelong relationship. Today, I want to talk to you about one of the people from their Fort Smith office, one of the all-stars. Sarah Newton is a dedicated real estate professional. She keeps things on track, in order, makes sure everything's working well at the closing table, because getting you from contract to close is perhaps what they do best at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. This is what one of her clients said. Sarah's an awesome young lady, kept driving everything forward, but made sure all parties involved were kept in the loop. You got to know what's going on. Yep. That was my experience with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. I think it will be yours as well. Check out their selection at WeickerGriffin.com. Turning houses into homes.
It's the people.
1978.
It's folks. The people, man. The people. And we're going to be without some people when Arkansas goes to Auburn. Jalen Braxton's out on the injury report. Patrick Kutis is out. Offensive lineman Hudson Clark's out. You have to declare these things now. That's new, like the NFL.
I know.
And so, people have asked, well, who's out? Those guys are out. And that's not good for Arkansas. We'll get into a little bit of that. We'll take your calls coming up as well next hour. Short segment. We had, just to be quite frank, we had a bunch of screwing around for a half an hour. We got behind and we got to Chris Doering. He was great. But I think the next hour may be the best hour we ever do on the Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody.
They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
A great pair. Really honored that you guys are doing this, listening over here in Jonesboro.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see sunny skies. Our high temperatures this afternoon will climb into the upper 80s to lower 90s. Clear sky tonight, overnight low, upper 60s, and a bounty of sunshine on Friday, highs in the low to mid 90s. I'm meteorologist Sally Russell on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Are you sure this is legal? I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel, 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
When I go out to eat, I want something fresh. I don't want something that's been sitting in a freezer or processed. When I go to Lily Sandwich Shop, I am satisfied to the max. That's because Josefa makes everything fresh and uses that River Valley farm fresh produce during our long growing season. Stop by Lily Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District and become another satisfied customer. The sandwiches speak for themselves.
My name is Lily. My Baba makes the best sandwiches at Lily Sandwich Shop.
I'm buying them at the Baker District today.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I want to challenge you. Rise up and let's go beat Auburn. Your coach needs this win. You as a team need this win. And rest assured, your passionate fan base needs this win.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it, Chuck.
A show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm ready to roll right now, Bo. Can you believe we're doing this? This brings just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio. Let's make another excuse for this Jaguar. That's right.
Presented by First Security Bank. By Kirk Realtors, the Griffin Company. Pasco Air, Plumbing and Electric. Flight by Yingling and Fayetteville Auto Park. And now, Chuck and Bo.
Yeah, I said going in to the 7 o'clock hour here that I thought this might end up being the best hour we've ever done. And then BE in Clarksville made a good point. He's like, look, you're 3 weeks old. Don't set the bar too high too early. And I think he's got a really good point. So I think we'll probably just be fairly mediocre.
Delve back into mediocrity
just
for
be,
the next
let's
hour.
Just be who we are. Be what we're good at.
Let's be average.
You know, and now that he said that, I had an epiphany. Houston Nutt, I've been asking him for 3 weeks, hey, will you come on the show? And he's like, he's always got something going on. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to come. And then it dawned on me, what he's waiting on is for us to become relevant.
Maybe that's it.
And no, it is.
You guys get a little bigger. Get a little bigger.
Like, I don't want to just come on for this startup stuff. Like, I want to get to let you guys get on a little bit of a run, or just absolutely tank, and then I'll come in and save it for you. But I'm not going to be in just some ho-hum mediocre hour with you guys. That's not happening.
Got to be special.
He is special.
Got to be special.
I just, you know, every year that goes by, if you don't appreciate Houston Nutt a little bit more, you're just not paying attention. Loves the state of Arkansas, and he will be on. He'll be on frequently. I think he needs to.
As soon as we get good.
As soon as we get good.
Yeah.
And that motivates me. It gets me up early in the morning.
I know
Chuck.
it is. What time are you here today, Bo?
4:45.
I beat Bart in.
Yeah.
I beat Bart.
We all came in together.
Yeah.
I heard y'all talking, and I was like, "Oh, listen."
You heard Bart talking. You heard Bart talking. That was what was the surprise. I come in yakking every day.
It's true. September 19th. That's today. It is a Thursday. Good morning. It's National Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Bart's already done it. Go, Bart. Go. Do it.
Give us the joke.
What's tell the joke.
Come on. It's so good.
What is a pirate's favorite fast food restaurant?
Long John Silver's.
Long John Silver.
You would think. But it's actually Arby's. Hey, what does a pirate wear to a Christmas party?
What?
An Argyle sweater.
Oh my God. Jeez.
You're welcome.
How do you
see mediocre hours? See, it's not going to be the best hour. It's not going to be the best hour.
How do you
We're
have the
2
worst?
minutes into the hour? Well, there goes the best hour ever.
How does a single guy with no kids have the worst dad jokes ever? Eddie in Clarksville, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning, Eddie.
Man, I tell you
Arby's.
Top that, Eddie.
Good morning, gentlemen, and good morning, this great fan base.
I think you threw Eddie off.
I tell you what, I love Houston Nutt, man. He's one of my favorite coaches all time. You know, I love Blue Hopes. You know, and of course, Bobby Petrino. But I'll tell you this, man. I got up this morning early watching the sunrise. I got it run through my veins right now. You know what I cranked up?
What's
I cranked
that?
up a song, Whatever It Takes by Image Dragon. And the song, you know what? It symbolizes grit and determination. And I want to send that song to our team and players because you better find your grit and determination. You can win this game at Jordan Hare. Win it for your coach. Win it for our fan base. And more importantly, win it for yourself. And then I went to a song by Rachel playing. Woo! Here, listen to this song. Fight song, baby. And you know what that song symbolizes? Let me tell you what it symbolizes. Even a small boat in an ocean can be something more. Listen to this. Can be something more. And Jordan Hare Stadium, when that bell rings, you can be something more Saturday. And I believe we got players that can be something more and help us win this game. I'll tell you what. Remember this. Remember the Titans Coach Booth when he took his team out on that hollow field at Gettysburg. He said this. Woo! Listen here, you got to come together. He was trying to get his team to unite. And I don't believe we have this team's united yet. I don't believe it. But if you unite and you win this game, my vision for you is simply this. You win this game, I believe you'll go on and beat the Aggies in Arlington. And then check this out. How about this vision? You'd be 4-1 coming back to Fayetteville. Woo! Well, they were probably game day in SEC Nation against the Vols. And we beat them before at Fayetteville, baby. So how about that vision? Whoa!
I like it. It's the Imagine Dragons, though, not the Image Dragons.
See, I kept looking for Image Dragons. It's Imagine Dragons. But nevertheless, play it here.
Well, when the sun's coming up.
What song is this?
What time you get up every day, Eddie? There it is. Turn that up.
Is this Imagine Dragons?
Yes.
Crank it up, Bart.
It's the Image Dragons.
Image Dragons. I don't know. It's the best.
It's kind of good to get into Eddie's. Like, I want to get in that routine a little bit.
Get into Eddie's head.
I want to, like the morning playlist. That's what we need to do. We need to get the morning playlist the night before from Eddie. Like, can you just email it, send it, send us the Spotify link, whatever. And because he's got a playlist that it changes daily.
Just got this image of Eddie's son coming up out on the porch, displaying, grooving. You know, just vibing out there on the front porch.
Whatever it takes. You know what's great about Eddie? You know what I love about Eddie is it doesn't matter what the song is, doesn't matter what the lyrics are. He's thinking about the Razorbacks.
How can I tie this into?
He's thinking about the Razorbacks. Whatever it takes.
That is good.
That's fantastic. I mean, you don't get that just anywhere.
No, that's the sort of radio that you don't get everywhere.
He's dangerously close to pulling us out of a mediocre hour.
Well, I appreciate his creativity. I appreciate the depth of Eddie, and looking forward to what do you say after stuff like that? Unbelievable.
Well, B in Clarksville said that he said, "Oh, my wife's an Image Dragons fan. She's an Image Dragons fan."
I love this one. Justin in Hot Springs says, "I go to place my Chick-fil-A order, and Eddie is quoting Gettysburg." This hour's off to a great start.
Anybody know what this place is? This is Gettysburg. This is where they fought the Battle of Gettysburg. 50,000 men died right here on this field, fighting the same fight that we're still fighting amongst ourselves today. This green field right here, painted red, bubbling with blood of young boys, smoke, and hot lead pouring right through their bodies. Listen to their souls, man.
Man, the roller coaster of emotions.
Man, I love good cinema.
Remember
and
the
Netflix.
Titans.
Yeah, Netflix.
Remember the Titans right there.
That's exactly. I recognized it. I reckon it was a very, very good movie. You're exactly right.
National Pirates Day. B weighs in with what's a pirate's favorite drink?
What's that?
Hang on.
What
You
is
got
it,
this?
Bart?
RC Cola.
You know. Has anyone ever told you, Bart, that stuff's really not that funny? I mean, I'm sure that you think the sarcastic laughter from people means that they actually find it amusing.
I don't know. I mean, both
But it's
over
like,
here.
All right,
Bart, let's go to a bar with Bart. Let's go to a singles bar with Bart.
Yeah, no, let's
see what
not.
happens.
Let's not. That'd be a trivia night somewhere, Chuck.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it'd be a trivia night.
Yeah,
7:12 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Can we just say, for all of you who get up early in the morning and you work so hard, man, we're glad you're here. We just really appreciate all the work you do to make Arkansas better.
You talking to me?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
When it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. They don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you on every step of the way. Whether you're planning a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or simply treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state. And you can add Flyway Brewing to the list, a craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Zion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what odd time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you
Whatever,
ever seen
man.
anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Come celebrate autumn in the natural state with Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Crabtree RV Center is having their big fall sale October 10th through the 13th. There will be special pricing and door prizes along with our experienced, knowledgeable staff to help you pick the perfect RV for your family. Come see why we've been voted the best of the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas. So mark your calendars for October 10th through the 13th and don't miss out on the big fall sale. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, Chuck and Bo. Love you, Chuck. Been listening to you dang near all my life calling games. Just certainly excited about y'all's new show. I've listened every morning.
See, look what you've done, Mark. Look what you've done. These pirate jokes. Yeah, you. Telling pirate jokes. You've opened up a can of worms.
It's National Talk Like a Pirate Day. What do you want?
GT's on the line in Fort Smith. GT, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning, guys. Enjoying the show.
Thank you.
Good to hear you guys back on the radio.
Thank you.
Hey, this may have already been covered. I'm just hopping on, but I was just thinking, what is a Pirate's favorite college football team?
Say it, Bart.
Arkansas.
Oh, wow.
Have a great day.
That's good. That's good. That's fantastic.
There's way too much clever radio going on around here, guys.
Save it for the afternoon show. That's where the clever show is.
This is way too much. 877-377-6963. You can follow at Chuck and Bo Show on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Listen on demand. As a matter of fact, Apple Podcast, Spotify. Just search for the Chuck and Bo Show.
What'd you have at the Sam Pittman live show last night?
I went grilled. when it was over because I'm feeling a little puffy right now. So I went with.
Is it all the snacks you're having in the morning?
Exactly what it is. Yeah. I mean, it's all these Nutri-Grain bars. It's wasted calories.
Well,
it's wasted calories. I know it is.
I'm taking you to Sweatin'em Cosmetic today to get a
vitality checkup. What in the world?
Vitality checkup. I'm going to do it too.
There's not going to be like a stress test or anything like that. No.
You got to run 16 110s.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm out. Right. I got stuff to do, man.
Yeah. No, it's the Sweatin'em Edge. You go to Sweatin'emCosmetic.com. Look for the Sweatin'em Edge.
Cosmetic, huh?
Yeah. Well, see, it started out because, women want to look and feel good.
So do guys.
And guys do too.
Sometimes you
want
to feel good too.
Yeah. It's not a gender thing. It's like we all want to feel good.
Yeah.
We all want to look and feel good.
Okay.
Well, what do you see when you look in the mirror? Do you have a mirror at your place?
I do have a mirror. Yeah. I know it's hard to believe. I think what the hell happened?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think. What the hell happened?
Yeah. It didn't just get like this overnight, but it might be able to fix it close to that.
Well, I mean,
we're going to
find out
the
today.
options are.
We're going to find out today.
Let's just see what the options
That's
are.
what we're going to do.
Sweatin'emCosmetic.com. Go click on the Sweatin'em Edge. It's the Chuck and Bo Show, and we're going to do it. You should check yourself out. Yeah, I mean, know what you're dealing with. Know what your options are. And that's what, it's like playing football. That's what you got to do every week. Got to go back and watch the film. Got to see who you are.
I don't want to watch the film. I don't want to watch the film. I know what's happened. I know what's happened. I don't want anybody asking me about it either.
You got your hand in the cookie jar. That's what happened.
I don't want anybody asking me. How did all this happen? Well, what do you think, man?
All those empty Chips Ahoy packages over there.
Working in radio for 40 years. Yeah. What do you think happened?
Yeah. I went into the break room a minute ago, and I'm like, oh, Chuck's been in here.
They're rappers.
You know what I saw? Let me tell you my CSI investigation from the break room. Dead giveaway. There was a fork that had been used to stir the coffee. A fork.
I don't use the fork end. I use the handle end.
Oh, I noticed that too when I meant to move it.
Yeah. I don't use the actual fork end. I don't know where it's been.
And then there were two equal packets, empty.
I was rushing to get back into the studio room because we were coming back on the. I had a lot to do during that 5-minute break. Yeah. I mean, I had a lot of ground to cover, and so it right at the end, I was out of time. I normally clean up my mess.
Right, I do.
I mean, I do.
I appreciate that.
Everyone who knows me knows that.
Yeah, but the fork is what really kind of made me dial in on the situation.
Well, that or a pen. I mean, a pen always works well as a coffee stirrer.
I've done that.
I think everyone has.
Yeah.
use a highlighter, just not on the felt end, you know?
Yeah. Make sure the cap's on.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. What do you
We're
think?
not going to get Botox, are we?
I mean, it's
somebody asked about
it's
that.
a good question
on the text line.
It's good. I mean, the thing is, you don't have to do anything. You just get an evaluation.
No, I want the whole
And then
deal.
it's
If
like,
I'm going over there, I want the whole
No, but then
deal.
it gives you
It'll be a
choices.
lean, mean fighting machine.
It's kind of like, who your personnel is and what plays you can run based on the personnel you have.
Fullback
they're
dive.
They're going to give
Fullback
you,
dive.
yeah, they're going to give you your personnel diagnosis.
You're not
and
going to be
say,
running
okay,
any sweeps
they
with that
say,
guy.
Yeah, you can run jet sweep. You can run pop pass.
Nah, there's no
We
pop
can
passes
run read zone, zone read,
No.
RPO. Those are your options.
I might run a stick route, 5-yard stick route. Just run out there and stand there.
How do you move the chains? That's
Yeah.
what it all
That's,
comes down to.
yeah.
Hey, how are you feeling about the Auburn game?
I actually like Arkansas's chances. I think Arkansas is going to be able to run the ball on him. And, when Doering was talking a while ago about their freshman quarterback, I think Arkansas is going to come after him. I think that's one of the things that's going to happen to him Saturday that did not happen in the New Mexico game. I'm not saying they're going to get to him, but I think they're going to come after him. And, the 4 picks that Thorne threw in the game before, he was running for his life the entire game. This time they were playing New Mexico, and he was not running for his life. The new quarterback wasn't. They got to make him uncomfortable. They got to make him move around. But the deal with Auburn, they got a running back that's just as good as Jaquindon Jackson. And Jarquez Hunter's been there a while. He rushed for over 100 yards against Arkansas last year. He's good, really, really good running back. You stop their running game, or at least you negate their running game, you got a chance to win. I think Arkansas can do that. I would expect Arkansas to do many things defensively. I say many, several things defensively that perhaps we've not seen in the first 3 ball games.
Well, if you look at Arkansas's numbers, it's a little bit of an enigma. Arkansas could be, if you want to look at it like this, a good team hiding in plain sight if they clean some things up. They've been statistically poor in the red zone on both sides of the ball, and they've had the turnover bug. But if you look at all the other stats, this team, or a lot of the other stats, this team ranks as one of the best, statistically speaking. First nationally in 3rd and 4th down conversion rate. 11th nationally in scoring offense. 13th nationally in defensive 3rd and 4th down success rate. I mean, if you just take those two, first nationally and 3rd and 4th down offensively, and 13th nationally defensively on those downs, I mean, that's a stat that's a winning stat. Now, how much of that is just swayed by the UAPB game? Stats can be deceiving if you lack context to them, but they did show some, like Chris Doering pointed out, how good the defense looked in the first half at Oklahoma State. And I think that, so we get swayed by every game. Like the UAPB game, you qualify it, but then you're still swayed by it to some extent because they look so much better than last year. Oklahoma State, different opponent, much better opponent. You still feel really good about them. And you're like, man, you just blew the game. And then last week, you're like, what the heck happened? And then I think there's an explanation to all 3 of those games. And last week, I would say it's a letdown kind of game. It's a letdown kind of game, and that's what they did. I would expect them to come back and play much more like they played at Oklahoma State.
I think they'll be very aggressive defensively in this game. Putting pressure on the quarterback sometimes is a numbers game. I think Arkansas is going to come at him in greater numbers this weekend. I'll be surprised if they don't.
877-377-6963. Here's a couple other stats. 11th nationally in rushing. Jaquindon Jackson leads the SEC in broken tackles.
Well, and that's going to be important because, when you look at the overall picture right now, set stats aside for a moment, we are now into the portion of the season where the vast majority of the games have the potential to be 1-score games. We talked about this a little bit on the radio show last night, was that, back in August, he kept talking about working on situations. We're working situationally today. We're to the point in the season now where how you play situationally is going to determine your fate. There are going to be short yardage plays that you have to win. To me, you want to talk about numbers, The only stat that really matters to me right now is 3-1. That was the turnover ratio at Stillwater. That's why you're not 3-0. Otherwise, you'd be 3-0 right now. Now, if Arkansas wins this ball game, they're going to be 3-1. I know people are still going to gripe. I don't have any doubt about that. But I think this is one of those games. I was talking to Auburn's play-by-play guy yesterday, Andy Burcham, a friend of mine. One of these teams is going to feel really good about their chances when Saturday evening rolls around, and the other's wondering, man, what's going to happen the rest of the year? I'm not saying this game's the end-all, be-all, but I'm saying it's a pivotal game. And we're to the point now where, again, 3, 4, 5 plays are going to decide what happens. I don't know how you could actually – I mean, you're going to set a line on this ball game to encourage betting if you're a bookmaker. But I don't know how you can really make a strong case to say this team or that team's decidedly better than the other. I view this as almost a true pick'em game.
I think it's a great opportunity for Arkansas's defense, but they got some guys out. I don't think Auburn's very good offensively right now.
I don't know. They were the last week, but
they play. It's like the UAB game,
right?
Or UAPB game,
right? Hey, I want to deal with Brad's text right here. How can they not be up for the first home game? This was one of the things that I heard a lot coming out of the game Saturday. Just because fans are excited, it's first time for the fans to go. Everybody's there, big crowd, beautiful day, all that. Players are sometimes different in that respect. Fans, unfortunately, we can't go play the game. Fortunately, in terms of execution, unfortunately, in terms of enthusiasm, because we'd all be excited about being there. But fans aren't playing the game. Coaches or players are the ones playing the game. And the idea that just because one side feels one way, the other side's going to feel the other way. I've seen games where Arkansas's crowd was listless and the players were really into it. I've seen it where the crowd was at a fever pitch and bang, the other team scores and the party's over. So, I mean, we've all seen that happen. But, yes, you can have a letdown in your first home game of the season. I'm not saying they had necessarily a letdown. I just think a point you made earlier in the week was that you kind of wondered at the start, is Oklahoma State going to beat them twice? Fortunately, that didn't happen.
Well, the other thing that can happen is not that you plan on having a letdown or not playing as hard, but last week we hardly talked about the UAB game. Like, we did not really break down the game. Like, here's what these guys do. Why? Why did we really not? Because we thought it was going to be a lopsided affair. Why did we think that? Probably the same thing can happen with the team. They watch UAB play horribly against ULM. Well, if you're on the UAB side, what do you do to get right? You get your guys in there and you say, hey, we got a chance to go make a statement, get ourselves back this week. We know we're better than what we played against ULM. So on one side, you got a really motivated team. On the other side, you got a team that just thinks they're going to roll in there and win. And it doesn't actually play out like, hey, we're not really excited about playing at home this week. It's at practice, you feel like you've already won the game. I mean, this is nothing new. It's what happens. I would bet this week practice has been a little bit more dialed in.
Oh, I'm sure there's a sense of urgency. I don't have any doubt about that. What he said last night, they went in the what they call spiders or shells or whatever Monday, and they've gone full pads Tuesday and Wednesday. They're going to go full pads today.
Tackling circuit.
Yeah, so I mean, there's obviously a sense of urgency there. If you really look back at last weekend, though, when you separate the emotion from all of it, and I'm not a bettor, but the idea that Arkansas was going to cover. I mean, you said it a minute ago, and this is one of the things about college sports that you cannot base your opinion of this week on last week. You just cannot do it. It was really, and you described it well, the perfect storm there, because ULM beat UAB like a drum the week before. If you're ever going to challenge a team, that's the time when you do it. And as Trent Dilfer said after the game, hey, college kids can change a lot in a week. And there's a lot of truth to that. Arkansas lost a heartbreaker, went extra over at Oklahoma State, lost to a ranked team, coulda, shoulda, woulda game, kind of game that keeps you up for 3 days. And they got to come back and get emotionally ready to play a team that just lost 32-6 to one of the worst teams in America. In retrospect, it was a perfect storm, not for an upset, but for a heavy favorite not to cover, which is exactly what happened.
Happy birthday to Dan Hampton today, Hall of Famer, former Razorback. 1957, the year he was born. So how old is he, Bart? Oh, really?
What's his hometown?
You just glazed over.
Hometown.
Look, I may be ready with certain things, but it's still too early for math.
Jacksonville,
24 and 43, 67.
67 years old, Dan Hampton.
Wow.
Happy
See how
birthday.
quick I was there, Bart?
I mean, I don't know.
No calculator.
Wow.
No. You're over there reaching for your phone. You got to
That's
add
right.
it up.
That's right.
I'm doing it right here between the ears,
I don't-
baby. I'm doing it right here between the ears. I don't need to calculate.
I mean, I'm not saying you're right. I don't know. I haven't even tried.
Hey, but I said it with authority, didn't I? I said it with authority.
You made me believe it. You
That's
made me
exactly
believe it.
right.
Get the raffle done, Chuck. Get it done. Say it like you mean
If
it.
it was legal, they'd already be doing it.
877-377-6963. It's the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Everyone remembers the Florida A&M game, and later became known here in Pulaski County as Rattlergate.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
You say, well, that's a tough thing to say. Well, we live in a tough world.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We'd like our program to reflect our state, the great state of Arkansas. Loyal, tough, hardworking. One of our goals every year is to make the state of Arkansas proud of the football team. In my office is a sign that says you're not coming to play for the University of Arkansas. You're coming to play for the state of Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Let's see.
see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep West Arc Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
West Arc Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. But you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
End of season savings are yours right now on Kubota hay equipment at Gray Brothers, including the new DM Series disc mowers, or try Kubota's DM Series trail mowers. And for the prettiest bale of hay on the market, try Kubota's VV Series round baler. With Gray Brothers low pricing and great interest rates from Kubota, it's time for your new hay equipment. That's Gray Brothers equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
All you kids, anytime there's any problem, anytime somebody's, well, why don't you get YouTube TV? Well, why don't you get Sling? Why don't you, I mean, you've always got the answer.
Right.
You've always got the answer.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
One screen, one game. I don't know how you watch 4 games at once.
I mean, nobody really knows how they work. Well, here's what you do. You just go back and forth.
You just like to be able to brag that I can watch 4 games at once on my TV. It's just a bragging thing.
Like, how do you watch anything if you're watching 4?
You can't.
I mean, you go back and forth.
You watch at it. You just kind of watch at it.
You can,
but you can't watch 4 games. You can't break down 4 games watching 4 games.
Poll question live right now, 877-377-6963. Is it possible to watch 4 games at one time?
No, it's not.
At one time?
No, it's not.
Now, I think that, like a lot of things, people will get confused when they try to answer this question, right? Like, well, yeah, I mean, I watch this play, and then I go to the other game, and I watch that play.
What if they got 2 plays going at once?
That's what I'm saying. That's a different
answer.
What
if you got 3-4 plays going at once?
Like all 4 games.
I mean, what
snap
if
it at
total
the same
hell breaks loose? You got 4 plays going at once.
You're trying, which snap do you watch?
Dang. Feral Hog is on the line. Feral Hog, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
You're so upset about it.
Good morning, fellas. Couple of things, I guess. I want to talk about the game. Some of the things that Chuck said, I believe you're right on. Here's the thing, though. I think both teams are going to be trying to do the same thing. I think we're going to be trying to make their quarterback beat us, and they're going to do the same thing.
Well, they're going to lose if they do that. Auburn's going to lose if they do that because our guy can run better than their guy.
Well, not only just running, but I think Bobby Petrino, we're going to have receivers running wide open in this game. He does it every game. So if Green can get the ball to him, we're going to hurt him, and then we'll take him out of that, make Green beat the game, and it can happen. Now, things happen crazy on the road, so I don't know, but I believe that's what I think they're going to make Green beat him with his arm and try to contain him. That's just my thought.
Do you think he can? Do you think he can do that?
Chris Jordan.
Do you think Green can make him pay for that?
Oh, yes, I do. I think Green can do it. I think that if he can get focused, he looked great in the first part of the game against Oklahoma State. I believe that he can do it. I think that he can get focused and get rid of the ball a little bit sooner, find the open receivers. It's not going to take very many times for him to hit one of those wide open receivers to call the dogs off on Auburn's side. So, anyway, that's what I'm hoping is going to happen anyway. On Sam Pittman, I agree with Chris. He made some great moves. He's made some great moves. The thing that I see with Sam, and I love it, I think we need him to be successful in Arkansas for us to turn the corner here. He can't, for whatever reason, our teams just can't seem to stay focused for the full game. I don't know why. We either come out flat and then get it together, or we
get going great, and then boom, something happens, and we just kind of lose focus. It's kind of like, I guess, when Bo Snap hooks the driver, into the water, he loses his focus. The next shot's going to be a shank or something. I don't know, but we lose our focus.
It's a side effect
game,
to the TikTok
Thanks,
generation. It's TikTok. It's
Really?
TikTok's fault.
TikTok's
Yeah,
fault.
it's hard for anybody
China?
to stay focused for an extended period of time. Yeah, what the China's fault. That's why we don't have a raffle.
Stop.
It's what's been said.
I know.
It's what's been said.
I know.
Like what? So should we poll the audience on whether we should hear the shots that were fired across the bow?
What happened? on
Like
this?
what
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah, what's the deal?
Like
on that?
what we did yesterday, I is basically me. Chuck's out here just being a good Samaritan.
I got your back. Though,
I was
man. I got your back.
I was a little upset yesterday that, and I think I should be, that misinformation gets spread without any responsibility or accountability for misrepresenting facts. The idea was that it was said, and I didn't call anybody out by name. I didn't refer to anybody specifically, but you know who you are. And when you misrepresent facts, it's not okay, because what you're doing is you're disseminating information that's not correct, and then people think that you're in a position to know, and so they believe it, and it's not true. So now this is how we get to places that we get where we're like, how do we end up here? How do we end up thinking that the University of Arkansas turned down the opportunity to make NIL money through a 50-50 raffle? How did we get to that point? They haven't done that. That's just blatantly false. Now, there's a million things you can complain about at any given time about any organization. There's a whole bunch of things you can complain about how the University of Arkansas has handled NIL, or how they haven't promoted it well enough, or how they haven't done whatever. That's fine. That's opinion, no problem. But when you say they did something they didn't do, and it's factually true that they didn't do it, there's evidence to the contrary, and you continue to say, well, they did that, and they just not care, and they just want to do a deal with their buddies at Oakland. It's just not true. And that was the point yesterday. Have some personal responsibility, please. When you're going to say something, make sure it's true. If you're going to make a stand and a statement like that, because that's just blatantly false.
What they say?
Yeah, well, apparently Bart played some of it earlier. I don't know if he's trying to find it. Should we play it? Should we play it on our show? Should we? Is this guy's the anchor man?
This is
the anchor man. Our crew, your crew, behind Art's place.
That's right.
We'll have a stare off. Well, grown up stare off.
It's not TV, so you can pull hair.
What do you do now in today's world if you're mad at somebody? You have a stare off?
Well, you get into a social media fight. That's what you do. You get into a Twitter fight. That's how you
keyboard
settle
gangsters.
things. All I'm going to say about all this raffle stuff is people are getting caught up. Is it illegal? Is it against the rules? Is it against?
Right.
If it was legal,
it's not illegal, Chuck. It's against the rules.
If it was legal, they'd be doing it. If it was, if everything was cool, they'd already be doing it. Truth be told,
right?
There's this idea that the university's against this, and that's not true. It's not true.
They've been trying for the better part of a decade to get the lawmakers in our state to make some changes that would allow something like this to happen.
Well, all I'm saying is
that's true.
Is we can argue about words and what which words most applicable. But if it was legal, they'd be doing it.
Right.
That'd be my.
I mean, I really screwed up yesterday when I said Georgia had passed.
Well, it was an executive order, Bo, and everybody knows that.
And I apologize. I made a public apology about it. It didn't change anything.
Well, don't go quit your job.
It's still true. It's still, if it wasn't for you, Chuck and Bart, I'd probably resign. but I don't want to do that to you.
Well, we've all invested the last several months in this little gamble. And so you can't bail on us now, buddy.
It's 50-50.
That's right.
We're brought to you in part by First Security Bank. More than just banking, more than just convenient locations, but they are friendly and all in on Arkansas. Banking better every day with convenient locations, local support, and making sure that Arkansans can bank better. The official bank of the Chuck and Bo Show, First Security Bank, where you bank better. First Security Bank, member FDIC.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I think that having Brian, allowing him to call in occasionally, is a healthy reminder of why you don't like Texas.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Razorback fans, country music legend Alan Jackson is performing at Bud Walton Arena on September 28th as part of his farewell tour to cap off his Hall of Fame career. Come and join us for the first ever public concert at the Basketball Palace of Mid-America here in Fayetteville for a once-in-a-lifetime musical experience. Visit ArkansasRazorbacks.com and get your tickets today.
Fayetteville Auto Park has been Northwest Arkansas's premier automotive dealer for a long time. There's a reason for that. It starts with great brands: Acura, Chevrolet, Honda, Toyota. Plus, they've got a huge pre-owned inventory. They've got an on-site collision center. And that really is what makes them your one-stop automotive headquarters. The best brands, the best people, the best service, and the best selection. Whatever your automotive needs, Fayetteville Auto Park.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
I want to make a couple of points here because I have the floor.
All of it. The Chuck and Bo Show.
Make sure you have everything you need for the game this weekend by stopping at Four Corks Wine and Spirits. Choose from a wide selection of bourbons and whiskeys, craft beers, and a great selection of the coldest imports in town. Take advantage of the walk-in humidor for an A-list of cigars. Everything you need and more for the games is at Four Corks Wine and Spirits, just past the intersection of Mazard and Zero Street toward Ben Garin Park. Now on Uber Eats and DoorDash.
Are you looking for a great deal on a previously owned vehicle but want to avoid high-pressure sales? If so, you need to visit Edwards Auto Sales in Roland. For over 30 years, Ernie Edwards and his staff have helped folks from Arkansas and Oklahoma River Valley buy a quality vehicle and offer a buy here, pay here program as part of their services. Some restrictions may apply. Come visit Edwards Auto Center newly remodeled facility, 3 miles west of the Garrison Bridge, the first car dealer on your right, or log on at edwardsautosalesinc.com.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Jaeger's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these red-hot buys at any of our 4 locations. 5-gallon fruit trees, oak, and maple trees, only $26.97. That's a savings of $9 per tree. Get a DeWalt 20-volt max brush compact drill and impact driver kit with 2 batteries, carrying case, and bonus bit set for only $159 with your Ace Rewards card. Find more everyday low prices online at JaegersHardware.com.
This is Ricky Young with Mr. Cabbage Head and the Screaming Radishes, vegetable-related rock for a healthier lifestyle. When we have any problem at all, we call 782-8940.
It's a great time to take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
And their families said they'd never amount to anything. The Chuck and Bo Show.
Yeah, look at us now.
They were right.
They were right. Hey,
Rafflegate.
I got to say this about this, and I'm not trying to beat a dead horse on this, but there's
no, it's the discussion ongoing.
Look,
it's ongoing.
I've read the text from people. Well, they explained it yesterday, and look, I know every person involved in this.
It's not illegal.
There's
it's against
not
the
a
rules.
look. There's not a bad person involved in this, but here's the thing: what you heard yesterday was the explanation from the person who wants to put the 50-50 raffle out there. You heard an explanation from the marketing director of Saracen, who I like a lot. He's a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
But you heard Saracen's view on this, that this is a simple deal that doesn't even require the state legislature, but it's just a simple tweak by the gaming commission or the racing commission, whatever they call them, and, boom, bang, this thing solved. Well, there's a real debate going on right now. This is part of the reason it hasn't happened. Is it as simple as the Gaming Commission making a rule change? Does it require legislative action? Can it be done with an executive order? All these things, I suspect, before all this matter is settled, they're going to court. I suspect that's probably what's going to happen. So understand that when you get an explanation, as people say, in this case, you're getting an explanation from one side of it. And unfortunately, there are some things that are being said about what the university would like to do. Like they're staying out of it. They won't put any pressure on. They're in bed with Oklahoma. That is one side of the discussion. And you have to remember, when you hear what you believe to be an explanation, you have to remember where it's coming from. Marketing directors are very good at explaining things. That's why they're marketing directors. They explain things from their point of view. And again, I'm not knocking any of these people. They're all good people. They're all doing their jobs. That's exactly what they're supposed to be doing. But if it was legal, if it was this simple, we'll get the commission to change a rule.
It's just against the rules.
If it was that simple, it would have already happened.
But we should be more aggressive in rule breaking.
Well,
as a state, we got to push them. We got to break some rules.
This is
that's our whole problem.
Look, if
this is some takes.
If there's going to be a 50-50 raffle at a Razorback game, don't think the governor's not going to have to sign off on this, regardless of who the governor is, regardless of when this happens. And people have this idea that you just bring a little political pressure to bear on somebody and, again, presto.
Right.
All this is taken care of. This issue will be decided at the highest executive level in our state. It's not going to be decided by marketing directors for casinos. It's not going to be decided by talk show hosts who think they're smarter than the other talk show hosts. It's ultimately going to be decided by either the courts, the governor, or someone who has the actual authority to put this in place. Unfortunately, none of the people we've heard from so far, they all have vested interests in it. None of them have the authority to make it happen. They'll all have you believe they do, but none of them do.
Or it'd already be happening.
That's exactly right.
If you think Arkansas doesn't want that part of it to happen, that's not true.
Talking to Hunter at 8:30, and obviously there's some, there's
a lot more
things there to discuss.
When you talk about the law or the rule or whatever you want to call it, there's other things attached to that, like, mobile wagering, which is why it's not just as simple as a 50-50 NIL raffle for Arkansas. But the idea, I think, of hey, it's just this simple and Arkansas chose not to do it is the point that we tried to make. And I think that point's been made clear.
Man, I've got some good news. Sweatinum Cosmetic is not just for females. Turns out us guys want to look and feel good too. Why be tired, lethargic, and overweight when we don't have to be? Sure, diet and exercise matter, but there can also be a lot more going on. For example, low testosterone is a real thing among many adult males, not just the old guys. I've heard about the weight loss shots and the low T ads before, and I've been skeptical. But then I stopped by my friend's office, Dr. Jeff Sweatinum. He showed me around that first-class facility and said, here's what we're doing for guys. It's called the Sweatinum Edge. You make an appointment, get a free evaluation covering 4 potential issues: hormones, weight loss, hair loss, and skin. Find out where you are and decide if treatment is right for you. Log on to sweatinumcosmetic.com, sweatinumcosmetic.com, and click on the Sweatinum Edge or call 479-966-4174 and tell them you heard about the Sweatinum Edge on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
We want to make sure that you can read some ludicrous lyrics on his 47th birthday today.
I can do that one. Roll out, roll out.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's a stunning way to go somewhere new in the 2024 Buick Encore GX from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Right now, get up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers on the Buick Encore GX. The Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% on the 2024 Buick Encore GX. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will see sunny skies. Our high temperatures this afternoon will climb into the upper 80s to lower 90s. Clear sky tonight, overnight low, upper 60s, and a bounty of sunshine on Friday, highs in the low to mid 90s. I'm meteorologist Sally Russell on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Jaeger's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Get these red-hot buys at any of our 4 locations. 5-gallon fruit trees, oak, and maple trees, only $26.97. That's a savings of $9 per tree. Get a DeWalt 20-volt max brushed compact drill and impact driver kit with 2 batteries, carrying case, and bonus bit set for only $159 with your Ace Rewards card. Find more everyday low prices online at JagersHardware.com.
People wonder all the time, where do I get my suits for all the weddings I go to? Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental. Rainwater's has dressed me from head to toe. So if you're renting or buying, your #1 men's clothing shop is Rainwater's. Experience the Rainwater's difference for yourself at 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith or online at rainwater-s.com. When you stop by, make sure to tell Gail and his staff that Ty sent you. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, because it's fun to look good.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad.
Hanging out at one of my favorite places, Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren. Grant Neal is here. And Grant, I wanted to tell you, I'm not sure if you know or not, but my wife brought her vehicle in, her SUV, for service the other day. And she gets a video. and they're going over her brake pads, her tire depth, her air filter, all this stuff. As she gets the video, gets to see exactly what they're doing with the vehicle. It's great.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's something that we've been working on. We want to deliver a personalized experience to our guests when they come in for service. And one of the things we're doing is showing these video inspections. It's a transparency effort. It's for honesty. And it's to be able to show you your vehicle and really get to see like, wow, that is my car up there, and allow the experts to go over it with you. So I'm glad you enjoyed that. We're proud of that.
You've got tires too.
Absolutely. We pride ourselves at being a big tire retailer. We work with a local tire retailer and the GM Tire Network to make sure that we have all the best brands at any price point for all the vehicles that we have.
Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
This is Ricky Young with Mr. Cabbage Head and the Screaming Radishes, vegetable-related rock for a healthier lifestyle. When we have any problem at all, we call 782-8940.
It's a great time to take advantage of York factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Ty Richardson for the #1 liquor store in the River Valley, Eastside Liquor. It's football season and the Hogs are back, baby. Plus your favorite NFL team. If you need beers for the boys, seltzers for the ladies, or brown water for the big-time wins, Dave and his entire team at Eastside Liquor can take care of you today. 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Convenient drive-through and always have what you're looking for. Plus a new bigger and better location is on the way. The game's always better after stopping by Eastside.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
I want to challenge you. Rise up and let's go beat Auburn. Your coach needs this win. You as a team need this win. And let me rest assured, your passionate fan base needs this win.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it, Chuck.
A show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm ready to roll right now, Bo. You believe we're doing this just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
I'm making another excuse for this.
That's right.
Presented by First Security Bank. By Kurt Realtors, the Griffin Company. Pasco Air, Plumbing and Electric. Flight by Yingling and Fayetteville Auto Park. And now, Chuck and Bo.
Man, the text line's hopping.
It is.
Text line's rolling this morning.
Dustin was kind enough for Mammoth Springs to let us know that he's going back to national radio till 2 because he doesn't like our conversation or our take on the raffle. We don't have a take. I think we're all for it too. If it works, great.
I'm for the raffle. Just so we're clear, I am pro raffle.
But the idea that the university's standing in the way of it happening is what is just not true. Sterling is in Center Ridge. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Hey guys, hope y'all having a great day, and I apologize in advance for the horn. I'm gonna work hard at it, trying to make the money to get to the NIL fund around here, you know.
That's fantastic. Good job.
Guys, what I'm going to talk about is first how they done made NIL a dirty word. Fans can't stand NIL. We all know what it means: name, image, and likeness. And when this got passed, when they got ruled that it's okay to let these guys make money on their name, image, and likeness, my understanding was these guys was allowed to do advertisements, go to car dealerships, sign autographs, take pictures, do stuff on social media, TikTok, if they can make money off that. Do a pod or something, stuff like that. I never envisioned for it to mean that the school was going to broker these deals. The schools are going to promise you can make so much money if you come here, go there. Now, what am I missing? Am I not right or am I wrong?
No, you're right.
About that?
Loopholes. So what happened, Sterling? You're exactly right. And then what happened is now you can get a collective, right? So you start collecting all of these deals, but it couldn't be part of the university, but it basically is. And so what would happen is meaningless tasks or tasks that don't take much effort, you would overpay for. So I need
going to a school and reading.
Yeah. Well, that's one example.
Yeah, that's just one.
Here's $20,000.
Because a lot of this money, you've got to tie it to some kind of philanthropic cause.
Right.
And that's what a lot of them do.
So it's a loophole. So instead of, just
and look, Arkansas takes advantage of that. I mean, people are saying, well, they're not taking advantage of the loop. They're taking full advantage of that. I mean, you got guys, and I'm more power to them, but they're radically overpaid for what they're doing.
People can call our state dumb across the nation if they want to, but at least our state's like, hey, what do I get for my money? Like, what's the return on my investment? I think that's one of the things that fans are upset about. Like, hey, if I'm going to give, what do I get back? I understand giving money and getting tickets back. Well, like giving money and not getting a return is a problem that people have had, which I understand. But this is the world we live in now. Like, it's the way it's set up. And as we've talked about, it's evolving and it's in the courts, and we're probably going to get to a rev share. And this will be less relevant. NIL will be less relevant. It'll still be relevant because people could still stack on top of their rev share with NIL, but the disparity is not as great when you get into a rev share. At least I think that's that's kind of the feeling.
Understand the holdup right now is they've got the revenue share plan in place. They would like to bring some sense to the NIL. In other words, maybe let's compensate them primarily through the schools, and let's make NIL what it was intended to be. If you can make money doing commercials, things like that, on top of that, more power to you. But the judge, the reason she's not signed off on it, is because she said you cannot restrict what somebody makes in NIL money. So in other words, these student athletes are going to get compensated by the schools, and then there's still going to be gross overpayment for tasks that fall under the umbrella of NIL.
Tyler is tired of the conversation. He wants to know if we can talk about the game this weekend.
Well, we did last hour, quite a bit.
What would you like to know, Tyler? What would you like to know? 877-377-6963. Heath is in Cabot. Hey, Heath.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Hey, so glad to follow Sterling. What a great caller and a knowledgeable guy. Real good guy.
He is awesome.
Yeah, the best.
Listen, I love NIL. You know, I mean, I look at it to where these kids are finally getting compensated. Young adults, I should say. I mean, I don't think there should be a cap. I'm glad she hadn't signed off on that, because if an 18, 19-year-old college kid decides to get a full-time job while going to school, they can work all the overtime they want. You're not going to cap that. You're not going to restrict that. So if a Alabama cheerleader can make all the money she can on TikTok or social media, then any athlete should be able to make as much money as they can. I mean, if you look at it like some of these athletes, I hate to say it, could be one play away from career-ending injury.
Wait. I got to stop you.
Hold on. How's that breakfast bar?
It's good. Nobody's saying you can't make money off TikTok. Nobody's saying you can, that's going to be capped. What they're saying is you're not going to get $10,000 for going to a school and reading a book.
Right.
They're trying to regulate it in some way.
But how does that make sense, though? Why do they have to regulate it?
Well, the same reason like anything professionally in sports is regulated. Like you have salary caps, you have unions, you have it's a whole setup with the NFL. This is the Wild West here. And the rules change from state to state. Like Georgia can just pay the players directly now. They don't have to have a collective, but that's not true of other states. The whole thing started, the loopholes started because of lawmakers in particular states overriding what the NCAA was trying to do. Like the NCAA is not set up to deal with this. And so like paying players is great, but all the unintended consequences change things unintentionally. And then it's a moving target. How do you keep up? What do you do versus what they're allowed to do? That's what I mean by regulate.
So, would the end goal be some sort of unison between every university on what they pay?
Yeah,
out?
Ultimately, the idea would be hey, everybody gets $20 million to pay all the players in their athletic department. Disperse it how you would like. Like that would be, then you have some, you got some idea of what you're going for. But if Texas can pay $30 million and Arkansas can only pay 20 because their budget's bigger, because their population's bigger, because their alumni base is big, whatever it is, then you're talking about Major League Baseball now that becomes regionalized, and some teams never have a chance to win because their payroll's $100 million and the Mets is $300 million, or a New York team's $300 million. I mean, that's an issue in Major League Baseball. Now you have a luxury tax in Major League. The idea is to have it like college football be entertaining, right? Like to have some sort of a little bit of parity, who's going to win in any sport.
With a little bit of fairness.
Yeah.
Because, I guess if you look at it, you would say, you're right. Texas could probably pay more than, say, the state of Arkansas, but I guess that's not fair. So I just don't agree with that. Like, if you have the ability to pay whatever you want, then you should be allowed to.
Well, I think what you're going to see is they've already basically cap, I don't know is the right word, but you can only put so much money or so much percentage of your take into it. It doesn't sound like, though, with the way the judges talk, that there's going to be those kind of restrictions on the NIL.
Sterling dropped off and had another comment. Yeah. Sterling, go ahead. What was your thought?
On a Hunter comment about 10,000 households and $100 a month. Now, you put a calculator to it, that's $12 million. Now, for old country bumping like me, went to school in Tenerife, my mind say, we can't raise $12 million. We can't get $1 million from 12 guys. It wouldn't hurt them a bit. I'm just thinking like a lay person.
Well, that kind of goes back to a conversation I had with a gentleman last night. It's the regular folks want the rich people to pay for it, and the rich people are saying we're already paying for everything. And so I don't know that it's I don't know that you can pin your hopes on, hey, we can't find 12 rich people to give $1 million.
Yeah, I understand, but it just sounds like a small. When you see just for the people we know. When you see the Cowboys worth $12 billion, not $10 billion, and you got all those ballers. Now we all know that's peanuts now. I know they already plan for everything, but if all you need is $12 million more, that's all you need. If we get rid of Pittman, don't we got to give them that much?
I don't know what it is. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that $12 million figure. It's not a one-time buy-in. You're doing this every year. Every year from now to the end of time. And the price of business is always going to go up. It always does. So that's what makes, I think, the NIL unsustainable. And that's why the revenue share plan to me is the only plan that has any chance of working long term. Is people aren't going to do this forever. And that's what you've got to do. You got to find a way to fund this forever, not just for this year. And that $12 million price tag, that $12 million NIL total for 1 year, I think you'd be amazed at how many schools are spending more. Let me just put it that way.
Okay, so you bring up a really interesting point there. Where does it end?
It doesn't.
And like
that's why you have to go to revenue share.
So we talk about Houston Nutt some affectionately here on the show. And Houston Nutt, when he was coaching at Arkansas in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was only one head coach in college football making $1 million a year. Tommy Tuberville was the first $1 million coach. Now, coordinators make $2 million a year, and sometimes more. Coordinators, not head coaches. Head coaches are making $5 to $10 million a year. And so, one of the questions has been, where does that stop? But that's just one guy. Or if you want to look at the coaching staff, a handful of guys or a handful of people. Now we're talking about an entire team. Like it's been brought up. Well, Cal's doing this, that, and the other. Well, there's 8 or 9 guys on a basketball team that you're paying a lot of money to. There's a lot more on a football team. So when you say, well, why can't you just get it like, if you get somebody like Cal on the football side and you just get all this money. And for people that have money and have the means to do this, they're asking this question, Chuck, like, give me the target. So if the target is we need to raise $50 million to build a new football facility or basketball or whatever it is, softball complex, if that's the target and you're fundraising and you go out and you say, hey, like we're trying to raise 50 million, here's what we're going to do with it. And that's different. But it's like, hey, we got to have $20 million a year. So then you need a system to get to $20 million a year. Like every year it's 20 million. Okay, but what about the year after that? And then what about the year? Like where are we 10 years from now?
Well, the 20 million's turned into 40 million.
Yeah.
I mean, just like anything else.
So it's like a lot of things. Like it's not, you'll never hear me say that players shouldn't get paid. Like all for it. The question's been for years and years and like decades is, okay, if you're going to pay them, how do you do it? There's never been a really good solution, but lawmakers went out and made it possible in certain states and opened the door. And then everybody had to kind of fall in line. And then the NCAA had to try to regulate it in some way or allow teams to do it. And it's all over the place right now. If this judge passes this whatever you want to call
the
it,
agreement, proposed agreement, she signs off on
of rev sharing, then that's the seemingly the best solution that we have so far. Look, I know this conversation is just tired, but it's also ongoing and it's very relevant to a particular thing happening in our state right now with this raffle idea, which we'll ask Hunter how he feels about it when he comes on at the bottom of the hour. But it's also the very backbone of college athletics right now. Like it literally is the core of college athletics and at the heart of where we're going. So it is relevant, even though it may not be, hey, what do you think of the Auburn Arkansas game on Saturday, which we plan to talk about quite a bit tomorrow. We'll talk about it some more today. But that's why we're talking about it.
Well, at every university, I mean, it's first off, I hope schools have their facilities built because facilities are not going to be a priority for a long time. Every dime you make's going into
raise
NIL.
money for everything.
No,
at the same time.
We're actually in a pretty good spot right there because we've got good facilities now. But I promise you, around the league, not just the SEC, Big Ten, all over college football, you're not going to hear about all these big projects, these big renovation projects, because the money's going to the players. The pendulum always swings from one extreme to the other. The players were getting shafted. I mean, it was immoral the way they were getting shafted for decades and decades and decades. And now it's gone the other way where a guy can go read a book to a bunch of kids for an hour and, he's making $10,000, $15,000.
Making that Chuck Barrett money.
If the average fan, knew what the bench warmers were making, they'd go through the roof.
Oh, yeah. We're brought to you in part by First Security Bank, Pasco Air, Plumbing and Electric, Fayetteville Auto Park, Flight by Yingling, and Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. Hunter Yurachek joins us in about 15, 20 minutes. And we'll take more of your thoughts and get into this game a little bit when we come back.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, first and foremost, congratulations on the official launch of the Chuck and Bo Show. I want to know, how did you guys decide which name went first, Chuck or Bo? Was that a flip of a coin?
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
It's the 3-day fall hunting and tent sale this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at Jelco Outdoors. Savings inside and outside of the store.
Yes, Tommy, it is. I mean, bow season's almost here, and we've got that Morel bag target on sale for $34.99. We've got select Hoyt and Elite compound bows up to $300 off. We've got ladder stands on sale. We've got ground blinds, 180-degree full view for $89.99. We've got all of our camo clothing on sale. It's almost here.
It's the 3-day fall hunting and tent sale. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Over $11,000 off on remaining 2023 GMC Sierras, or up to $7,000 off on remaining GMC Yukon XLs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. These are the largest factory discounts in years, so hurry before they're gone. Plus up to $6,500 off on in-stock 2024 GMC Sierras. Conquer the road with confidence in a GMC Sierra from Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
We are possibly entering what could be a golden age in Razorback athletics.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
It's the 3-day fall hunting and tent sale this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at Jelco Outdoors. Savings inside and outside of the store.
Yes, Tom, it is. I mean, bow season's almost here, and we've got that Morel bag target on sale for $34.99. We've got select Hoyt and Elite compound bows up to $300 off. We've got ladder stands on sale. We've got ground blinds, 180-degree full view for $89.99. We've got all of our camo clothing on sale. It's almost here.
It's the 3-day fall hunting and tent sale. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Is someone special to you missing out on life because of foot pain? Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendonitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics. Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I'm a diehard Cowboy, and I'm with you 100%. But predicting the Super Bowl,
I'm there.
Fan, you know,
I'm there.
I believe in curses.
Cowboy fans, Arkansas
believe,
fans, all the feels of Cowboys are going to Cowboy again.
Nah,
Arkansas going to Arkansas again.
This is the year. I don't know what I was thinking.
This is the year.
It didn't age very well, did
I mean, you know what?
It's just one game.
I love your attitude. I love your
attitude.
attitude. I love your attitude about it, though. Here's Sam Pittman last night with Chuck.
A couple of years ago, I believe Rice was ahead of us in the fourth quarter, and the next week we beat Texas by 25. You can't have a game that can control what's going to happen the next game. We have to learn from it. We have to get better from it, and that's what I believe we've done.
It's week to week.
Well, and you got a little revenge factor working this weekend too. And I know people say, well, a lot of the guys weren't here. This is one of the reasons I think this is an important game. I want to see if the new guys will fight for the old guys, because for the old guys, losing 48-10 at home stings. 2 years ago, Arkansas went down there to Auburn, and they were mad about what happened 2 years before that when they got screwed on that spike call. Went down there and took care of business. Not saying that's going to happen this time, but I'm telling you the approach is very, very similar.
David and Cersei. David, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Hey, guys, I had no intention of calling today because that'd be 2 days in a row, and I don't like hearing anybody dominating there.
Oh, we like you 2 days in a row, David.
I have something to say. So I want to say it.
Say it.
The Auburn game, to me, is the first crucial game on our schedule. Oklahoma State was crucial only to people who predicted us going 8-4. Okay. Auburn, A&M, LSU are the three most crucial games on our schedule, and here's why. We've got 2 victories. We have to go 2 out of 3. We have to go 2-1 in the Auburn, A&M, and LSU games. That's 2 victories there. I'm giving this Mississippi State down there. I'm giving this Louisiana Tech. There's your bowl game. There's your bowl game. There's your 6. If we go 1-2 rather, against Auburn, A&M, and LSU, and get the 2 victories I just mentioned toward the end of the season, then you're having to beat a top 10 team just to try to make a bowl game. And we don't want that. We don't want that at all. If we get our 6 victories, 2 we've already got, 2 at the end of the season, 2 out of 3 against the 3 teams I just mentioned, there's your bowl game. Then for all the people who have us going 7-5, 8-4, you've got to accomplish that against top 10 teams. 3 of them are at home. It is possible. But the 3 games I just told you are very crucial on our schedule, and that's why. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, David.
Thank you. I mean, this game's going to go a long way, I think, on how people feel.
Oh, there's no question.
I think, like we've been back and forth going into the first game, after the first game, Oklahoma State game, then, what happened last week. They figured out a way to win the game, which I thought was a positive, actually. You wouldn't want to be in that situation, but they did learn something from that, probably being able to come back. And I think that's a positive, the way they reacted to the adversity. But now it's all about games you got to win. You got to win the games that you feel like you have a chance in. If you're going to make a bowl game and take a step as a program coming out of a year like last year.
Well, this is a game you need to win, pure and simple. Whether you're going to a bowl game, regardless of what your long-term goals are, this is a game you need to win. If you want to get to where you want to be as a program, these are the type games you have to win.
Arkansas Athletic Director Hunter Yurachek will join us next on the Chuck and Bo Show. It's 8:27. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Rick's in Fayetteville. Rick, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's a privilege to talk with you guys, and I love the Razorbacks.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal Price Check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
I like craft beer. I do. You guys always think I'm like the biggest dork on the face of the earth.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insights and analysis?
Hell yeah.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line podcast network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
The Big Ten is up during the 3-day fall hunting and tent sale, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at Jelco Outdoors.
Hunting seasons are almost here, so we've got our deer feeders on sale. We've got the capsule 400 400-pound deer feeder on sale for $2.99. Was regularly $3.99. We've got deer corn. We've got nut grub. We've got ground blinds, ladder stands. We've got targets on sale. Got the Winchester XPR 300 Legend bolt-action rifle while they last for $499.99.
It's the big fall hunting and tent sale Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at Jelco Outdoors in Fort Smith.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here. We live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition.
All right, check.
Results.
Life is full of surprises, but with Kohler & Green Insurance, you can face them with confidence. Whether it's protecting your home, your car, or your business,
Talk to
Kohler
me,
& Green
please.
has you covered. With
Hey,
two
Tommy,
convenient
can you hear me?
locations, Fort
Yep,
Smith
I think
and
we're
Van
good now.
Buren,
Okay, awesome,
specializing in
perfect.
personalizing
Thanks.
your insurance solutions tailored just for you. At Kohler & Green Insurance, your trusted partner in protection. Contact the Fort Smith office at 484-9888 or Van Buren at 474-9888. Kohler & Green Insurance, serving all your insurance needs.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3. The Chuck and Bo Show.
If Arkansas is a stock, are you buying?
I'm buying.
Are you buying?
I'm buying. It's low right now. This is the time to buy it.
Chuck and Bo Show. It's 8:32. Good morning. Hunter Yurachek is the Arkansas athletic director, and he's joining us now. Hunter, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Man, we're great.
Never better.
We appreciate you talking about the NIL at the Touchdown Club. It's given us a week's worth of material.
That's great. I'm glad I could help you guys out with that.
What do you get frustrated listening or hearing about the conversation and trying to help fans, all of us, media, understand what's at stake and what you're dealing with? I mean, from my outside perspective, it feels like a complex issue that the world is still trying to get its hands around. And, you know, we joked about this when you were on the first week of the show or the second week of the show about, man, you must get tired of this conversation. What do you want fans to try to understand about the situation that we're dealing with in college athletics right now?
Well, first, are we on the air?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, great. First and foremost, Bo and Chuck, it's one, we're not the only institution that is trying to figure out the NIL puzzle. And there's 70 Power 4 institutions, 16 within our own conference. And as I talk to many of my colleagues, they are all struggling with the same issues. We're in a changing landscape of college athletics each and every day. And look, we have had some incredible success at the University of Arkansas in a number of sports over the past 3 to 4 years. And we're going to continue to have success. And we're going to have success because we're going to embrace the changing landscape of college athletics. And embracing that means that we're going to have to, as we look forward to the 25-26 year, most likely share $21 to $22 million of internal revenue with our student athletes. And it's not just as easy as saying we're going to do that, because we have a budget this year of $174 million. That's balanced to the penny on both the revenue and expense side. And so as we look to next year, the problem doesn't go away just because we can share the revenue internally. it's still going to be a challenge for us. We have to find $21.5 million in by pulling back on expenses and increasing our revenues. And one of the ways that we continue to increase our revenue even next year is by the memberships to our collective, or whether it's the foundation or however it's set up this time next year.
Hunter, there's been a lot of conversation around the 50-50 raffle. Can you comment on what the university's athletic department stance is on this?
Look, I am all for a way to generate revenue for name, image, and likeness. The way I understand it, I'm an athletic director for a reason, is that there's some legalities that exist within our state currently that do not make that possible. The governor and I have talked several times about it. She is not comfortable with that right now, and I fully respect her in her decision. We're working to potentially have some legislation that we would introduce in the next session that would allow us to do that and do that legally. But until that time, we're going to have to find different revenue streams.
And how do you do that? That seems like the challenge that you were talking about a second ago that you and your colleagues are trying to figure out. People see, like Ole Miss having success. You mentioned that at the Touchdown Club. And then they wonder, well, how do we do it here? What are the answers? Like, are you searching for answers? Do you feel like you got some answers? How would you describe that situation?
Yeah, I will tell you that I think we've gotten some significant footing in the NIL landscape in the last 60 to 90 days by some things that we have done internally. The football field naming rights partnership with Walmart and Tyson is one of those things. The majority of our share of that will go towards NIL for our football program. And so that's one of the creative things that we have done recently. And we've got some other internal things that I don't really want to disclose because I think they're a competitive advantage for us. But the other piece of this, and I think this is what stirred the pot so much on Monday, is we really need to have a grassroots effort around our state. And I put out a path. I don't know that I asked for 10,000 people to give $100. I just gave a simple demonstration of a path for us to have a strong NIL program. And, there's a 1.1 million households in the state of Arkansas. I realize that all of them can't give $100. We're not in the wealthiest state in the United States, but if you can give $100 or if you give $25, there's an option on the Arkansas Edge website for that. There's a $50 option. Whatever you can contribute. If we could get a grassroots effort where we had 10,000 households that were assisting with that, that would be awesome, and that would help us. And I understand that we get incredible support across our state. We have 170 suites within our football stadium. They're sold out for the year. We sold almost 50,000 season tickets. We're sold out in men's basketball at Bud Walton Arena. We're going to be sold out again in Bud Walton Arena. We're sold out for soccer. We will put 10,000 people for gymnastics meet this year. Our fans do an incredible, incredible job, and we ask them for a lot. And, so that was one of our paths. Tennessee introduced a new path where they're just going to put a 10% ticket fee to generate additional revenue. There's different things you can do, different levers you can pull. And look, we're going to feel some of the pain internally. We have 7 different budget committees working right now within the Department of Athletics to try to help us redefine how we manage our expenses and how we spend our dollars so that we can, get to that $21.5 million, both with the hybrid model of reducing expenses and increasing our revenues.
I want to ask you a little bit, Hunter, about this proposed settlement, which I'm assuming is going to become a permanent settlement in some form or fashion soon. You talked about the success in other sports. One of the things I've heard from people is I hope that the revenue share that's going to be required and is going to be a necessity in all the sports, but in some more than others, they don't want to see all the other sports affected. How is it going to affect the department when suddenly you've got to account for, as you say, $21.5 million and what boils down to compensation?
Chuck, that is a great question. And our number one focus day in and day out is the success of our student athletes. And as we look at how we're going to manage our budgets moving forward and our expenses moving forward, our number one goal is not to negatively impact the success of our student athletes. And as you look at our success, if you've heard me speak over the last 6 years, we've won 36 SEC championships among 11 different sports. People say, well, it's just your track and field. It's not. We have 11 different sports that have won SEC championships in the last 6 years. That leads the SEC. We had 9 of our programs that finished ranked in the top 10 nationally last year. That's almost more than half of our programs that led the SEC. And so we want to continue to have a strong athletic program. I get it. I understand our fan base is focused on football, men's basketball, and baseball here in our campus. And we're working to make sure that each of those 3 sports has the resources they need. And part of those resources moving forward is going to be the revenue sharing, that $21.5 million.
What's the role of NIL after this settlement's approved and there's revenue share within departments? What happens to NIL? It's obviously not going away.
That's correct, Chuck. NIL, as it was intended when it was introduced July 1st of 2021, was to give student athletes the opportunity to use their name, image, and likeness to pound the pavement, and if there was a business product or service that wanted to use them because of the value of the name, image, and likeness, they could monetize that. And our student athletes did an incredible job in that first year. We introduced the flagship program. I think it was the first of its kind across the country. Our student athletes went out and beat the pavement and generated about $2.5 million in what I will call was legitimate NIL agreements throughout Northwest Arkansas and our state. And then the collectives came along. If we could get to the point where we had revenue sharing and legitimate NIL, that would be great for college athletics. But, I mentioned we are our own worst enemy in college athletics, and we always search for a loophole. And that loophole moving forward is still going to be the collectives. And if the collectives continue to exist and continue to provide resources to student athletes that's not legitimate earned resources, the pay-for-play piece is never going to go away. But if we could get to the point in college athletics that we would operate under the model where we had the revenue sharing piece and legitimate NIL, we would be in a really good spot in college athletics.
Hunter Yurchek, Arkansas Athletic Director, with us here on the Chuck and Bo Show. Hunter, I know you hear from fans like, "Hey, man, we're tapped out. We can't give any more money." What do you say when you are confronted with that kind of conversation?
Yeah, look, and I understand. And I said earlier, we have an incredibly generous fan base that supports the Razorback Foundation, that purchases season tickets to multiple sports, that travel from across the state, which is not inexpensive to do that. And if you're tapped out and you've done all you can do, thank you. But if you have an opportunity and a desire that you can give more, that would be great as well. And we would appreciate that. Look, I understand we're not in the wealthiest state. And, if you can't give any more, thank you for what you have done. You're greatly appreciated. But if you have the ability, the wherewithal, the discretionary income to give some more, those are really the folks that we're trying to get involved. And again, you can get involved with the Arkansas Edge for as little as $25. You can support any of our 19 sports. You can assign that to football, men's basketball, baseball, whatever your passion. It could go into a general fund. But I appreciate the support we get from across our state because our fan base is incredibly, incredibly generous.
Well, we really thank you for coming on and explaining this to the fans. Really helpful and informative. So
thank you, Hunter.
Next time, maybe we'll talk sports. Or wait, we are talking sports now. Yeah. That's what. Okay, this is
sports business.
Yeah, sports business on the Chuck and Bo Show. Hunter, thanks so much. Good luck this weekend.
Yeah, Bo and Chuck, thanks for having me on. Go Hogs.
Thank you, Hunter. Yeah, I'm struck as I hear what he was talking about at the very beginning. We've had success in several sports. We've not had the success in football that we'd like to have. Guys, that's been the story my whole life. So let's not sit here and act like we've lost something that I want Arkansas to be great in football every year, believe me. But I've lived here my whole life. Those years since we joined the SEC have been few and far between. The glory that we talk about happened primarily in the Southwest Conference. And frankly, if you want to get right down to it, a lot of it happened before integration. So things are a whole lot different now than they once were. And the idea that, the thing that I notice about NIL, not just here, but all across the country, power brokers are still the power brokers, and the have-nots are still the have-nots. And the teams that never wins still don't win. And the teams that always won before are still winning, by and large. There are exceptions to the rule, but by and large, that's the case. So the more things change, the more they stay the same in some respects. The entire landscape of how you pay for it has changed and will continue to change. But in terms of actually the results that you see on the field, not all that much has changed.
Can we put the idea to bed that Arkansas is standing in the way of the
let's
Raffle
put that
now?
to bed.
Can we?
And let's put to bed the idea that if somebody would just call someone that they could get this 50-50 raffle in time for the Tennessee game.
I've had
Let's
several
stop all that.
conversations with the governor.
Well,
that's
exactly.
what he said.
This is that's why I said in the 6 o'clock hour, this decision is going to be made by the chief executive officer of Arkansas, and that is the governor. That's who is going to make the decision. It's not the racing commission. It's not marketing agents for casinos. It's not you and me. And it's not a bunch of yahoos who gather in Little Rock once every 2 years to decide how the rest of us are going to live. It's going to be the governor, pure and simple. I just broke my pen.
We'll get some
ink everywhere.
We'll get some reaction to that when we come back on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning. Bo, it's good to hear you back on the radio, man. I missed you in the afternoons, and you guys seem to be gelling right along. So it's good to hear both of you on morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
You know, for me, when it comes to finding the perfect diamond, there's just one name that stands above the rest in Northwest Arkansas: Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. As the region's premier experts for diamonds, Blakeman's offers an unparalleled selection of brilliant stones, handpicked for their quality and beauty. And they don't just help you find the perfect stone, they educate you every step of the way. So whether it's a proposal, celebrating an anniversary, or maybe just treating yourself, Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
Call the Hogs at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas for the 2024 Southwest Classic. This season marks the 15th and final iteration of the neutral site installment of this historic rivalry between the Hogs and the Texas A&M Aggies. It all goes down inside the house that former Razorback Jerry Jones built on Saturday afternoon, September 28th. Secure your tickets today at AT&TStadium.com.
The Razorbacks have won it. Look at these Razorbacks coming over to get that trophy.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Hey, Razorback fans, it's Quinn Grovey alongside my man, Matt Zimmer. And it's a great time to be a Razorback.
Embrace the hole!
Whether it's a touchdown, a slam dunk, or a grand slam.
Big Susie, they were doing all the stuff. I went in there to get something to eat, and they're cheering. I'm like, what is going on here?
We're here with the excitement and insight you crave.
Well, you're giving me goosebumps now, you know.
It's the Razorback Daily from the team at Sport and Store.
That might be our best episode ever.
Available wherever you listen to your podcast each morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Thank y'all for your show. It's a great format in the morning. It's really nice to have knowledgeable people to wake up to and listen to. So thank y'all.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Life is full of surprises, but with Kohler and Green Insurance, you can face them with confidence. Whether it's protecting your home, your car, or your business, Kohler and Green has you covered. With 2 convenient locations, Fort Smith and Van Buren, specializing in personalizing your insurance solutions tailored just for you. At Kohler and Green Insurance, your trusted partner in protection. Contact the Fort Smith office at 484-9888 or Van Buren at 474-9888. Kohler and Green Insurance, serving all your insurance needs.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles, 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I got 2 things I want to talk about real quick, and I'll get out of your hair.
We don't have any hair, Sterling. Another great line.
That's
Thank you.
Good pun there. Nicely played, Sterling.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I knew as soon as Hunter said, "That's a great question, Chuck," I'd be lucky to ask another one, right? He just did 4 straight questions. I'm surprised you didn't say, "I know it was."
Get out of my way.
Bart, let's recap quickly what Hunter said, and this will be on social media today at the Chuck and Bo Show. We'll get it all out because these are the facts. And we went to the source who runs the athletic department at the University of Arkansas. What did he say specifically about the 50-50 raffle?
Yeah, he said as it pertains to the current laws in place and changing the laws, that the governor is not comfortable right now based on his conversations with her. And he said that there is legislation in the works to be introduced in the next session. And that's where things stand. They're working on it, but people aren't comfortable. The powers that be in the state are not comfortable with the proposal.
Not Hunter, not the athletic department.
Right.
That's the governor. And so they're working to try to get legislation to make it happen. Exactly what people could ask for, what they have asked for, and exactly what's happening. John, you good, Chuck?
No,
because you broke up. You said it all at the end of the last.
Look, we just as the person who's going to decide whether or not Arkansas plays games in Little Rock's the governor. Things like this go to the governor's desk. The idea that a bunch of minions are deciding this is just not true. The governor decides this.
John's in Little Rock. John, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Quickly, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I took away from what Hunter said, and I'm glad that he clarified a lot of that, was we in athletics have a way of shooting ourselves in the foot. That's the NCAA. That's the whole thing. That's all of them, whatever. I agree with trying to get a grassroots collective going. I think that the more people you have involved, the better your base is, and you're not dependent on one person, right? But as Arkansas fans, if athletics are going to shoot themselves in the foot like they have done with all of this rollout across the NCAA, there's a bit of a hesitancy to give because, you don't know what you're giving to, and you don't know that your dollars that you're giving aren't going to have the goalposts move as soon as you give them. right? And Arkansas fans, we're used to kind of being screwed, aren't we, right? Auburn game, Florida game. We can go on, and we can pick out many places in our history where we just got the shaft, and we can, we often do, think about it too much. But I think that's the thing.
Look, I get it, and everybody's got to make that decision. The game is being played at a certain level right now. Every fan gets to choose if they want to get in on that. I want to be real clear about something. The governor hasn't said she doesn't want to do this. The governor has said she's not comfortable, according to Hunter. So because there's many things attached to this bill or rule or whatever beyond the 50-50 raffle for the Razorbacks.
Again, if it was legal, they'd already be doing it. They've got to try and find some mechanism to get in place to make it legal. But if the governor does not sign off on it, it's not going to happen.
But there are measures being taken right now to try to adjust or tweak it in a way that
but
it might work.
She's still got to sign the bill. She's still got to sign it.
If you learned anything today from the Chuck and Bo show, it's the governor's in charge.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you